18th, 2026. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 9:30 a.m. We will start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge Athabasca County is located on First Nations Treaty 6 and Treaty 8 traditional territory. We respect and honor all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples' connection to these lands, their history, language, and culture. On Zoom, we have joining us today Councillor Chizen, Councillor Calahoo, and Councillor Hall. Councillor Kapitaniak is absent from what I understand. And we need to approve the agenda. Councillor Chamzik would like to put the motion through to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Thank you. That's 8-0. And what we have is item 3.1, which is our draft policy 3405, dust suppression, page 3 to 15 of your agenda package, and a handout that is coming around from Director Marshall Morton. Thank you. So what I did in hopes to try and streamline the meeting here this morning is put together all of hopefully I captured everyone's comments from the last meeting so that we can try to pluck them off one at a time. And I just will actually turn the meeting over to Director when he's ready. No worries, no worries. And maybe run through the handouts and whatever other information you'd like to provide to us, please.
Good morning, Council and Ms. Chairman. This handouts that I provided, the one that has the blue on it is a list of, I guess, what I think I heard out of the last meeting of roads that Council was interested in seeing, I guess. Can the other council members see that? It's this handout? Oh, okay. Does everybody have the email?
Yeah, the email came through.
Okay.
Yes, it did, Marshall.
Thank you. Okay, so just and this is full cost is what, it's not based off any cost share. It's what the full cost would be. And it does not include gravel. So we've said that gravel is, you know what, we have a gravel program. It's probably not fair to bill for the gravel as it's part of our annual program. So these numbers do not include gravel, but they do include the equipment and the materials. As you can see, it's the big ticket items are obviously the roads that were brought up in the last meeting, Plamondon, and that's why I suggested that they be dealt with on a standalone, as standalone projects. They're bigger. I'm not sure they should fall under the dust control policy, but that's up to council.
Question. Marshall, can I have a break? Well, when you do that, a breakdown on that 44,000 that we spent on the connector, what we did?
No, that's an estimate to put dust suppression on it.
On the whole, okay, that makes sense.
That's what it is.
Thank you.
These are just estimates to apply the dust suppression if council chose to do so.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And just if I may, just so, because the public doesn't have this document, just so people know, the Plamondon connector, how many miles was that? I'm sorry.
It's 8 kilometers is what.
8 kilometers.
Yeah.
At full cost with dust control minus the gravel would be $44,800. It's an estimate. Tower Road north of Highway 55 would be $6,792.80, and Tower Road south of Highway 55 south to Township 660 would be $27,182.40. Thank you very much for putting those together.
So those are the lists of the roads that we felt we heard from the last meeting that council wanted to consider as additional. The list that is in the agenda item, which is an old list that used to be in the policy. We understand that there's some work to do to that. Some of those roads are oiled, so I'm assuming they use this list for more than just the dust control. And if we were gonna establish it as a schedule in the new policy that council's considering, then we would remove anything that is asphalt or oil, and we would only have gravel roads in here that council wanted. The other list or sheet that I handed out is the last 5 years of what the dust suppression program has cost. Now, you can kind of see where the price drop was. The prices had been going up, and I had another list where it shows what council's costs had been to or what we charged applicants for it previously. And I think it was 2024 or 23 where it was reduced to the $200. And also there's when you see the overall cost annually, there is gravel in the 2025 one. So I was here for that. I know gravel was billed there. I'm not sure about the previous ones. So just wanted to, when you look at the 2026 budget, we budgeted 694. That's anticipating additional applicants. Also, it removed the gravel. So we're not planning on billing the gravel in 2026. So hopefully that explains why this year's budget is less than what our actuals were last year, is because we're not going to be billing gravel to it, but we are anticipating there will be an uptake in applications.
Okay. Thank you very much. I also pulled some of those historical costs just through the minutes and the agendas we had. So I'll just run through that with folks so that they have an idea of what the history looks like. And I went back to 2021. So 2021 was $350. This is all plus GST for residential and $450 for commercial. 2022, we increased it by 10%. So it was $385 plus tax for residential, $495 plus tax for commercial. We also raised the late application fee to $250 in 2022. 2023, we went to one rate rather than one for residential, one for commercial, and that was at $400 plus GST. And I made a note here, the full cost we were told was $1,000 at that time. But I wrote down, from my searching, and I could be very wrong, 2024, I had $400 plus GST, and then 2025 was 200 plus the GST. So I could be wrong on the 2024 one. We can double check that, but that's kind of the quick history that I grabbed on that, just so everybody had an idea of the differences and the different years, and the fact that we did split it out at one time between residents and residential and commercial. I also took the time just to try and streamline the meeting a little bit, and went through the YouTube video of the meeting we had and tried to capture everyone's comments so that we could kind of pluck them off one at a time. If I missed something, I apologize. Please, by all means, let me know, or if there's new ideas. But I think just to try and make this meeting as efficient as possible, if we could just go back to what we started with, and then if there's further adjustments under the categories that we're talking about that people would like to see, please, let's have that conversation at that time. And I guess, Councillor Stasiak made a very good point about our policy being labeled as 50/50 cost sharing. And Councillor Hall made a mention at the last meeting to change that wording from 50/50 to cost share rate set by council, so that it would kind of eliminate the confusion of are we actually doing 50/50? Are we doing a third? Are we doing, you know, something else other than 50/50? So maybe we should start there, and then see how people feel, and then we can keep going throughout the list that I made. So I'll open the floor to everyone, how they feel about the change in the wording from 50/50 to cost share rate set by council.
Do we know what the rate is, what the actual is now, the cost?
Yeah, it's between $1,100 and $1,200 now.
With no gravel.
Correct.
So we can average that to 1150?
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Is that the actual cost of the product or is that the cost add and applied?
That's
11.
applied. So
So the-
that's applied. So that would include the water truck that we have to use to pre-wet and the grader time and the product and the staff time.
Okay, as I understand it, or as I interpret, Councillor DeHollett's question was though, do we know what the actual cost of the product itself is? Because that is what regulates our 50/50 is it says cost of the product at a 50/50 cost. So if we don't know what that number is, how do we know what 50/50 is?
Well, we know the cost per liter. We just don't know how many liters we're gonna have to put down on each segment. So,
That as well. Sure.
I mean, we're sitting, I think it's 17.5 cents per liter of product.
So is there,
But the number of liters that we put down varies depending on, you know, whether it's a new dust control that where there hadn't been previous applications,
right,
or if, you know, it's been there for a number of years, we can back off on the rate a little bit.
my concern though, initially is that in our programs or agendas, it says 50/50 of the cost of the product. And if that should change by $10 or by $100, then somehow we may be obligated to return some money to these people because we're stating, and that's sort of where my concern is that maybe I think it's a better idea to switch it over to a cost share as set by council. That way we're not committed to 50/50.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have an average, like a ballpark figure of the product? How many liters? Just a kind of a,
Well, it would range likely between 1.5 liters per square meter to 2 liters per square
Okay.
meter.
and we like basically average 200 meters.
Yeah, the
Okay.
widths vary a little bit, right? That's why we use square meters.
Okay,
Because sometimes the road's 10 meters wide, sometimes it's 7 meters wide,
got it.
right? So, I mean, I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the road
Okay.
and how many applications have been there before.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
So I have Councillor DeHollick, Deputy Reeve Mins, and then Councillor Callahoo on deck, please.
Now, Marshall, the cost of sand and gravel seems like it's it's pretty high. Do we use gravel every time we do dust control? And I think the answer is no.
Correct.
Do we charge for gravel if we don't use it on a dust control?
No.
Is the gravel included in the cost? No.
So in 2025, it was.
Mhm.
I'm saying in 2026, it will not be. So in 2025, when we applied gravel, it was charged. Not to the ratepayer, but to the program. The applicant still only got billed $200,
Right.
right? But our budget got hit with it.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
where it got charged.
But if they didn't have dust control at one time, they'd need gravel in that area anyway.
And that's why we won't be adding it in 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Reeve Mins.
I guess for easier figurings out here regarding how much product and that. What did you guys use to come up with? Did you use the 1.5 liter or did you use the 2 liters? To come up with the cost?
We base it off two.
2, right? That's what I would have done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Callahan.
I think that what everyone's sort of saying is they're reiterating what Councillor Hall suggested, that wording change does give us the option to move up or down as needed without sticking to an actual 50-50 number. Sorry, my dog's whining. He doesn't understand what's going on right now. Anyways, if we do need a motion put forth to change that wording, I would be happy to make that.
Thank you very much. Is that our first motion of the morning, folks? Are we ready to go forward with that one? So the wording would be changing from the wording from 50-50 to cost share rate set by council. And I'll just double check with Councillor Hall to make sure that that's what he had intended.
You're proposing it now. I haven't spoken, but that's what I suggested last time, something similar to that, yeah.
Okay, are you okay with that still today?
I'm fine with it and yep.
Okay, so
Any consideration for revisiting it annually or in our statement?
trying to figure out, I think that was somewhere discussed, but we can definitely discuss that at this point. Let's see here. Just reading
That was discussed through the committee of the whole schedule, that we would be revisiting dust control in, what is it, January?
Oh, for the level of service. The level of service policy, that the different increments of the different levels of service that's included, correct? So that covers us off, that it will be discussed
Yeah.
annually. Thank you very much for that clarity and reminder. I just want to make sure my microphone's on. Okay, so I think if we can go ahead with our first motion on this one so that we can keep going forward, is that Councillor Callahan would like to move that council direct administration to change the wording in the policy from 50-50 to cost share rate set by council. If that is, everybody's good with that? For ready.
You'll have to delete the words 50-50 in the subsequent bullet point as well.
Everybody's got all that, so anything you see is changing from 50-50 would be applied for the new wording. Okay, if we're ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And are there any opposed? Thank you, that's 8-0. Awesome. So I guess we'll start hammering out some of these items before we go to the rate so that we kind of can understand where we're all at. If we can start with the setback. It was a 400-meter recommendation from council, or discussed that that's what we would like to see. It wasn't actually all of council, but a few council members brought that forward. 400 meters, but after 400 meters, there wouldn't be any dust control application, if I'm not mistaken. Or there's two different ways of looking at it. Or if you're further than 400 meters, you would be charged full rate. So at minus the gravel.
Yeah, so from our perspective, like we had originally proposed 250 and I believe council has suggested 400. Just wanted to clarify what the intent of the setback was, how administration was viewing it, is that they could still apply if they were more than 250. It's just that they had to pay for the full cost. So if you want to change it to 400, there was a suggestion that people would not be eligible at all after 400. We would just need clarity on that so that we can write it into the policy.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Deputy Mintz.
Yeah, I'm rethinking the idea of putting any distance, I guess. I guess we provide a service and We don't, you know, we provide a service for driveway snow plowing. And there's not too many. It doesn't matter on the distance or anything like that. We charge somebody $200. So all of a sudden now we're gonna take another service that we are looking at and start saying, well, if you live so far off the edge of the road, we're not gonna allow you dust control. Or if you want to pay full cost. I think if the person wants, you know, are we gonna start looking at our snow plowing policy and say, okay, if you're a half mile off the road, we're gonna start charging you now $1,000 instead of 200. I guess when you really start thinking about it, does it make sense, you know, to take away that service from, or people being able to, they may not get their driveway done in winter, but maybe they won't calcium in the summer. So I don't know if you wanted to put maybe a half a mile away, whatever, but I'm thinking even to abolish that one.
Okay. I like the way you have brought that forward again, because it is fairness with regards to the distance. And I recall Councillor Kaptanic also making a comment here with regards to safety considerations. If there's, you know, split between two different neighbors, and then there all of a sudden there's a gap, and, you know, is it fair to that one person in the center kind of scenario? So I'm with dumping the idea, but the Councillor Dahalik.
Well, you know how far 400 meters is? It's a long ways.
It's a quarter mile.
It's a quarter of a mile. I think that's too far. I think that we should be looking at 300. I would really like to see it reduced from 400. You know, that's a long ways. And as far as the driveway plowing and stuff, I think we have to have a look at that as well. Be another one of these meetings, so.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know what you guys feel. I do feel that, you know, 400 is way too far. I'd say yes, 300.
okay, so you would like to keep it in play? A setback in play
Yeah.
this year?
Mm.
Maybe, may I throw a little comment in there that until we figure out our snow plowing distance, that we don't apply a distance to our dust control?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know, just so that we're not creating a stir
Right.
before we make it. And if we do decide to do setbacks and distances, that maybe we do it all in the same year.
That's good. Yeah.
Does that work?
I'm okay.
Does that work?
Yep,
Awesome. Okay.
good idea.
Councillor Hall.
I think it's a waste of time to start getting into the distance. If it's priced appropriately, then the people who are really far back will just not choose it. Like if we have this priced in a way that the people who need it would be willing to pay it, but the people who maybe don't need it as much or it's not as critical, use pricing to influence behavior, and then you solve the problem. So
Okay.
priced appropriately, people who are 400 meters back or quarter mile, or I'm going to say 200 meters is a long way off the road. Like it's just price it in a way that it will force people to decide, do I really need this?
Okay, thank you. So if we can do a quick poll around the room, wants to keep a setback? Show of hands for anybody who wants to keep a setback. I see no hands. Perfect. We're just going to scrap that altogether. And I don't believe it was in the original policy in the red. When you brought back the amendments, I believe there was no setback there. So we don't have to worry about a motion on this one. We're just going to say that's off the table. All right. How does folks feel? There was mention of returning to, oh, I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Sorry, there's no setback. So they are, regardless of where they are in relation to the road, it's $200 or whatever rate is going to be established. It's that rate. It's not 100 per, or they're not required to pay any additional. It's just, okay.
Yes, that is for this round of talks.
So does that mean we're gonna revisit this soon?
Well, we will revisit it annually.
Right.
So when we revisit the snow plowing one, that we'll keep that in mind when it comes to distances as whether or not we would like to implement that. Counselor Townsend?
mean, the advantage of that too, we could also have that yearly data as well, if necessary.
Yeah, that would work out great. Gives everybody an opportunity to bring more information for sure. Nobody else? All right. One of the other mentions was to bring back a prior policy point was that the subdivisions need to be 75% inhabited before dust control is supplied. How is everyone feeling about that? I seem to think that that's a great idea, because, you know, where this is a no cost to the subdivision residents. They're on a, yes, and there would definitely be some on this list that you provided us that would not apply, would not be eligible for that particular item, and I believe that would probably be Forest Estates and Willow Point, would not be 75%. But that would have to be checked out with the other ones that came aboard after the old list was presented. So I'll go around the room. How is everybody feeling? Go ahead, Deputy Reedmans.
I totally agree with that. Help us possibly cut down on some costs here and it's still not saying that people can't purchase that calcium on their own or dust suppression on their own. So I totally agree with that. Now, the only thing is habitable. What is that, like a tent, or is that a permanent dwelling?
Well, we have the definition of dwelling in our,
Okay.
and that's up for discussion as well.
Okay,
But the dwelling currently in the policy means a building or a portion of a building containing one or more habitable rooms that constitute a self-contained living accommodation unit having sleeping, cooking, and toilet facilities and intended as a permanent or seasonal residence.
okay,
So RVs qualify.
yeah. I like the idea of, it's gotta be at least 75%, because all of a sudden we're spraying dust control where we have 2 or 3 people living in this multi-lot subdivision. And it's like, no, we're not gonna do that. I know that there was some issues before regarding that, so,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm in
you're
agreement.
for it?
Yep.
Counselor Stasiak.
Actually, Councillor Mins sort of answered my first primary question, but so those that would like to purchase after the fact, is that at the so-called $200 rate, or is it full cost rate for those few that would still like to buy it?
So under our current understanding is that they could apply on the whatever cost share rate that council approves.
Because they are essentially,
If
Rate
they meet,
tier.
if they meet the criteria of a
Okay.
dwelling, right? We would not cost share if it wasn't a dwelling. If it's a tent, no, right?
right, no.
But, you know, the council's definition of a dwelling does include RVs. So, you know, if you have a multi-lot subdivision and the only buildings that are on those lots are RVs, it currently qualifies.
Right. Yeah, my concern was just that whether they would have to pay full price or they get the subsidized rate.
No, they get the subsidized rate.
Okay, I'm good with that.
We're gonna go over to Counselor DeHollick.
Just quickly, Tracy, full-time residents, does that 365 days a year, or could it just be a motorhome there for the summer?
It mentions seasonal residents
Okay, she's,
in the definition of the policy. Counselor Chamsley,
I'm 100% with the 75%.
okay? Are you needing more time? You're good, Counselor Hall, you're with it? Okay, let's go to the Zoom folks. Counselor Calahoo. Where are you at for the 75? You're good? Counselor Chizen,
I'm good also with the 75.
thank you. Counselor Hall?
I reserve my opinion.
Sorry, I missed that. Pardon?
I reserve my opinion. I don't know for sure. I want to see how we define residences. I'm undecided.
Okay, so we're going to go to a motion on this one. Are you needing more time to think? We can move to the next item and come back to it.
No, just, I mean,
Let's do the motion.
we run by motion, so.
Okay, so we would like to put, Counselor Mins, Deputy Reeve Mins would like to put the motion forward that subdivisions, receiving the dust control or dust suppression, need to be 75% inhabited through, and will those, how am I gonna word this? I didn't write motions down. We just want to make sure that people know that they would be available to take part in the cost sharing program. So, Deputy Mins would like to move that to direct administration to add to the policy it's not a clause, the statement that subdivisions require 75% to be 75% inhabited before the dust suppression is supplied and are eligible for the cost share program. Does that make sense? Sorry, Tammy, I should have had these organized. Is that good for everybody?
Yeah.
All right, if we're ready for the vote, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Do we have any opposed? Perfect, 8-0. This is awesome. All right, so, just trying to figure out where's the next, the additions, should we look at the additions, folks? According to the, handout that we were given, there are some additions that were, discussed. The first in the multi-lots, Copper Ridge Estates, Jumping Deer Estates, Wright Estates. I'm going to hazard to guess that Forest Estates and Willow Point would no longer, be eligible to, partake, as I don't think there's 75% in there. And I do see you have, less than 50% homes, same with Copper Ridge. Yeah, okay, good enough.
Just, I'll have to
So we just-
revisit whether those. I don't know if there's any RVs on those sites.
Okay,
So,
so it's up for,
yeah,
okay, and a little inspection there. Perfect. There was also mentioned, Minook Cemetery or Minook Hall. I wasn't sure. The hall was done last fall, okay? Oh, with asphalt. So was that the cemetery for Minook? On this one, okay? And the South Athabasca Hall, / cemetery. There were lagoons that we talked about, and I believe Boyle is done already, if I'm not mistaken, so these would be add-ons.
yeah, Boyle actually isn't an add-on because it is done annually under agreement.
Okay.
We don't have a choice on that one. It has to be done every year.
Okay. And what else do we have? It was mentioned with regards to, and that was one of the things I wanted clarity on too, was the Hutterite colonies. You mentioned here on your handout that they were invoiced and paid for dust suppression for 991 meters. Was that at full cost? I haven't,
No.
what I noticed in the table that we were given in Schedule A, if we go to the Hutterite, let me see here if I can find it quickly. Here we go. So they had 1/4 section that was cost share from highway, and then it says from highway to east 800 meters. And it was $1,200 plus GST in the table. So this is on page 9 of your agenda, and it's probably a third of the way down, quarter of the way down the chart for the Hutterite colony. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. I was hoping to get some clarity on that. There's a quarter section here that's cost share and then a longer stretch. And this is in your neck of the woods, so I'm hoping you have some history on that.
It was a lot to do with coming off the highway, coming up that hill. And so many people living there that there was a negotiating factor put in there with the Hutterite colony. They have how many families live in there, if they, you know, if, and how many dwellings in there, so they could, a few people could come in and sign up a form for that many, for that distance, or we just come up with a negotiating factor on how we did that.
Okay,
So, and with the amount of traffic that is going in and out of there, and plus past there, commercial businesses beyond it was tremendous. So that's how that worked out.
okay. So, where do folks want to go with regards to this? Because we do have, since this list was created, two other Hutterite colonies. As I mentioned, I'm not aware of the New Pine Creek that comes off of 663. I don't know if that's a private road or if that is a county road. I think it's Range Road 205.
Can I
if I'm
answer
not
that?
mistaken, Please.
That is a county road.
Okay, it's a county
That
road.
is a county road allowance running all the way down there.
Okay,
And back when, they never really asked for anything other than gravel.
okay,
They really wanted gravel. So that was their main concern. So if we open it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
okay. And then I don't know about Deep Creek Colony. I haven't been out that way. I apologize. Please go ahead, Councillor Callahan.
There is a lot of homes on the other side of the road going up and around that colony. Now, if you'd like, I could go speak to Ken and ask. I think he'd be okay with just paying. They're good community members that way. I don't think that they'd be seeking out for a cost share, whatever, but I don't want to speak on their behalf without talking to them. It is a highly traveled road though, because sort of all of our things are situated there, the fire hall, the community hall, the skating rink, plus the colony, plus a lot of homes. So I don't really know where to go with that without more information. Unless maybe Director Morton has some input there, perhaps.
So I'm assuming we already do the fire hall and the community hall. So I guess I'm a little confused over what we're proposing for the colonies. So are we talking about the access road to the colony as well as not just in front?
Well, and that's what I'm kind of gathering from Highway, the West Colony, that it's kind of along the side of their, the access to their, like not into there, but the road that goes by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be the road that goes by. So New Pine Creek, the access would be 205, and like you mentioned, all they asked for was gravel. It's quite a distance in to their,
They're at the end of a no exit though,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Like, I mean, it's just their traffic.
correct. Well, actually, no, they do have a store there. So it's,
Which is their
yeah,
traffic. So
I guess the biggest thing there is they got the school there, they got the bunch of dwellings and all that stuff. It is their traffic. They do have the store. I wouldn't wanna, here we are, we're all of a sudden talking about doing the whole road all the way in
Yeah.
there. It's a mile all
Yeah.
the way in there. There's really no reason to do that whole mile. Cause no one lives along the edge.
correct.
If they wanted to, again, if they wanted to, purchase, same as the Deep Creek Colony, my thoughts on that is if they want to purchase like 600 meters along there, being that they have so many people living there. They could probably purchase that, right?
Okay,
I know how we would have dealt with it before this discussion is you're eligible for one 200-meter section
okay,
on a cost share basis.
Okay.
If you want the rest, then additionally, you would pay for
Okay.
that, right?
awesome. Okay,
So, I mean, whatever council decides, but that's how we would have dealt with those
okay,
previously.
perfect. Councillor Callahan and Councillor DeHollick?
I guess last meeting, whatever, my question was more of a seeking to understand, I guess, and I maybe spoke a little too much without thought. I guess what I just want to make sure that it's equal for all. Or not even that. Equal is not always fair, right? That's where equity comes in. So just as long as you know, one colony's not getting where others aren't, whatever, just to make sure that it's, yeah, fair, and equal. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Dahalik.
So, if they're not asking for it, what are we talking about it?
Well, just to be able to provide, as Counselor Calhoun mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, I understand,
Okay, thank you, Counselor Hall.
I think we also have to remember that, you know, the circumstances are different. You know, we have hamlets and we have village, multi-lot subdivisions. And, you know, these are three communities inside a municipality that the circumstances are different than the typical multi-lot hamlet or subdivision. But I think they warrant special consideration because they are a bit, you know, they're unique. And in some cases, certainly they may have populations that are greater than or equivalent to our hamlets. And yet, because they're all on one single title, you know, we're giving them sort of one shot, even though, you know, you may have 30 different families living there and 80 people. So they're ratepayers, and I just feel like we're not treating them in an equitable way to what we would treat a multi-lot subdivision with 35 houses. And while I recognize the difference in the land title, we still have to say it is a form of community, and we need to find a unique way to recognize the equity of that. And so I don't think that one $200 shot is equitable, given if 35 families had 35 farms, that'd be $7,000 worth of dust control we do for each one. I'm not proposing we go that far either. But given the concentration of people, I think we do need to consider something different than one single 200 shot. Like when I drive by Deep Creek, there's at least 3 entrances into that community off county roads because it's on a corner. New Pine Creek, perhaps they want a little bit near the end as you get closer to the buildings. I haven't been down there to see what the effect is. And I know that it has come up with Mr. Gross from the Athabasca colony, you know, a concern around kind of the way it's charged. And so I think we should take a little extra time to say, how do we make it reasonable for those communities? And I don't know where the answer is to go all the way, but I think we should do something a little different. And it might be saying, you know, up to pick a number of applications, or I don't know. I think that's where the discussion needs to occur.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Calhoun?
Thank you, Counselor Hall. You put that in a little better words of what I was trying to say about equity and equal isn't always fair. You know, it's come up in other topics about how we're trying to be fair across the board, and, you know, all divisions, all hamlets, whatever. I guess that was what I was trying to say. It might look different for each colony, but as long as it's equitable and fair. And Jack, to answer your question, Counselor Dahalik, the reason I'm bringing it up is because they are in my division. They are good community members. And I just wanted to have answers for them in case it did come forth, because they use technology and they're able to read and see what we also have in front of us. And so I just wanted to be prepared for if I was asked something. Thank you.
Thank you.
you're a good counselor.
That's awesome. Okay, so where do we want to go? Because let's look at what we have on our table here about the $1,200 charge for the 800 meters. And then it's I'm assuming one application for the cost share on this particular quarter section that's listed here, Southeast 366624. I'm not familiar enough to know what to suggest here, so I'm going to turn this over to the table and see what people, I would actually like to hear what our administration recommends on this scenario. What you feel.
Well, when I look at that 800 meters, that's identified in the old list for $1,200, that's 4, right?
Yeah.
And you've basically charged them, I'm assuming when this list was made, it was $400. So you've charged them for
3. Yes.
3
Yeah.
out of the 4. That was 1. You were only giving them 1.
Yeah.
Right back then. But if council wants to set whatever you want, we can do. If you want to give them two at a cost share, that's fine. We'll do whatever council wishes.
Well, and I guess the point is too, is, New Pine Creek hasn't been asking for it, and has Deep Creek been asking for it? Those are the types of things. Do we open it up and say, if you would like to apply for it, great, but be prepared, this is what the cost is. And that's, I think, what we need to figure out, how that would look. Like I mentioned New Pine Creek, it is a mile in there, and the residences are probably at the far end of that mile. So, where do people want to go? 2 applications, 3 I don't know. What are people thinking? Just so that we're prepared. Go ahead, Councillor Stacey.
My opinion is I recognize this, the Baptiste Lake Colony is 4 segments. And I would be willing to suggest, offer them 4 segments at the subsidized rate. Put it where you would like, if it's closer to their yard or just off the highway. Whether they accept it or not, that's their prerogative. And, but to keep fairness in community, as we spoke before about 30 homes and so on, well, that I believe is fair. I think that that's recognizing some sort of equality between multi-lots, things like that would be the same here. So my suggestion would be 4 segments at a subsidized rate. They want to go beyond, then they pay a little extra, but whatever the rate is of the day, 4 would be my suggestion.
Okay. And that's for all 3 colonies.
All 3 colonies.
3 colonies. Okay. Where's everyone at?
I can live with that.
Okay, that's 2. Councillor Chamzig,
I'm still thinking about it. I
you're still
mean,
thinking about it? Okay, and I will also agree that, with the amount of residences that are there, 4 is a really good, for us, it's, if we had to do 30 residences, what we would be looking at. So this for me is an excellent suggestion. On the screen, Councillor Calhoun, where are you at?
Yeah, I like that, the fairness to all, and no one's feeling like they're left out. And as long as too, and I guess because we changed the wording before, we can come back and like you said, if we're gonna do this annually, if changes need to be made, things can always be improved upon if needed, but we won't know unless we try, right?
Yep, absolutely. Councillor Chizen?
Again, I do agree it's got to be fair, so at this point, I think we can go ahead and try it this way and just see what the repercussions are, and hopefully we're fair to everybody.
Right. And as we mentioned, we don't charge for multi-lot subdivisions now. So that's something we really need to consider as well when we talk about this. Councillor Chamzig.
I was just thinking on the same level of that. And I mean, it's up to them if they choose to do those 4 segments. And I mean, it's fair across the board, so I could get behind it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hall?
When thinking about the multi-lot subdivision piece, I would say that I would even be open to giving one, it's like reflecting on the multi-lot subdivision comparison and the hamlet comparison, I'd do 1 for nothing plus 4 at the subsidized rate. But,
Okay.
council's on a path to make something better than it was. And, I just hope we keep making incremental improvements. And so I could give away 1 at 0 plus 4 at the subsidized rate.
Okay. I like that too. So now we're gonna do another round. Deputy Reed Mins.
I like that idea. Or we can look at distance. Like right now, we got the West Colony has got like 1,000 meters of dust control. So we can also look at distance and say, we're gonna keep doing your 1,000 meters of dust control at the subsidized rate. And then if the Deep Creek colony comes in and says, okay, well, we would like to have, let's say, 600 meters done out in front of our colony at the subsidized rate. And then the New Pine colony says, hey, we would like to have 400 meters done out in front of our colony. And we could go with it that way too.
So if I may, being each segment would be 200 meters. So we could go up to, so one for nothing and up to 4 segments.
Yeah, I was gonna, sorry, through the
One
chair.
segment free and 4 up to
One-
4.
If what I'm hearing is council would like to do one for free, then they could go an additional up to an additional 4 for a maximum of 1 kilometer.
Okay,
At a subsidized rate for after the initial one,
Okay.
if
Does that work?
that's what I'm hearing.
okay. So if I have it right, that's maximum 1 kilometer. So, just gonna kind of summarize what we just said there for all 3 colonies to, be eligible for, how should we put that? Offered, dust suppression for 1 segment at no cost. Up to 4 segments to a maximum of 1 kilometer at cost share. Did I catch that right? Yep. All right, so let's just vote on this one so that, so that we can get it out of the way.
Can I
Um,
suggest though, you don't use words like all 3 colonies, but use words like 4 Hutterite colonies? Because
Yes,
there are actually 4 Hutterite colonies at least within Athabasca County that own land.
pardon?
Where's the 4th?
Where, yeah, I'm confused now.
The Hutterite Brethren Church of Jumbo Valley own land in Division 5.
They own land, but they belong to the New Pine Creek colony.
The proposal though is to not limit it to naming 3, is just to refer to the more generic Hutterite colonies generally.
Athabasca County Hutterite colonies.
Yeah, colonies within the county, because presumably we're not doing dust control for colonies in Thorhild County.
Okay. So colonies within Athabasca County be offered dust suppression at 1 segment for nothing, 4 segments at the up to 4 segments to a maximum of 1 kilometer at the subsidized cost sharing rate. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Stasia.
I appreciate the compromise, but the more I think about this, I would be more apt to say that we should give, if we want to give 1 for free, we would give 3 at a subsidized cost. Because I'm leaning more towards prevention of dust, not a gift as much. And I think a 1/4 mile of dust control solves a problem, whereas giving a gift, it also solves a problem, but it's a gift. And I think that our purpose here is to save where we can. I'm not being cheap. I'd go along with the 5 system too, but I think just for now, as we spoke before, that let's try this. And I think maybe let's go 3 or 1 free and 3 at a subsidized rate for this year. If it seems like that wasn't quite enough to cover the dust, next year we can go to 4.
Okay, just so you're aware, the current situation is 1 free and 4 subsidized.
Correct. And
Yeah, that's current. That's what they're used to having at the out west. So it's 1,200. We were doing 800 meters at $1,200, and we were doing 1 cost share. So basically, we had 1 cost share plus another 800 meters, which would be 1,000 meters.
But this says 800 meters,
Mm-hmm.
and it describes 200 meters east of the bridge, which is that included in the 800 meters, or that's an additional 200 beyond the 8?
No, that's
Does
included.
that matter though? We're working on a new program right now.
It's just to understand what is
What the
current.
existing
Yeah,
is right
what the
now.
existing one is. So the 200 meters I read is included in the 800.
Okay, so we're offering 800.
Yeah,
So what-
plus, so the first one is the cost share on Southeast 366624.
Yeah.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. That is the cost share, 200 meters. And then from Highway 2 East, there's 800 meters at a cost of 1,200. That includes the 200 meters for the bridge, east of the bridge. So I'm seeing that we give 1,000 meters. where
Okay,
it's
I
considered here.
didn't read it quite that way. I don't
Am
interpret
I
it that way.
reading it incorrectly?
Sorry, I wasn't here for that, but I interpret that different.
Okay, can you?
So I interpret that to read that you provided one for free and then the $1,200 was associated with 3 additional ones that's how I interpret it. But
Okay.
then last year, the colony bought a kilometer. So they obviously felt they needed a kilometer, but I'm just pointing out that last year we did 991 meters, but they purchased that.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused altogether reading the table because like I mentioned, the quarter sections and then it says brackets, that's the cost share portion. And then from Highway 2, there's another 800 meters, but please, do you have a different
We did 1,000 meters out there.
1,000 meters? There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
We did that 800 up to the bridge and another 200 after.
okay. So this then, what we're proposing today would still be 1,000 meters, but it would be one segment for zero cost and 4 segments at cost share.
Thank you for that. I'm good with that then.
Okay.
If that's what was standard before,
Okay,
I'm good with that.
good with that? Everybody's good with that? Did you kind of get the motion, Ms. Plourde? Yes, originally? Okay, so would you mind reading it back so everybody is on the same page, please?
I'm assuming it was moved by Counselor Hall. To direct administration to offer dust suppression. For one segment at no cost and up to 4 segments, up to a maximum of 1 kilometer at the subsidized cost sharing. For all 3 Hutterite colonies within Athabasca County.
Okay, so we'll remove the 3 colonies and just for Hutterite colonies within Athabasca County, please. Does that work for everybody?
Mhm.
Thank you so very much. All right, if everybody's ready to go on that one, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? 8-0. Okay, so we're still on the addition of different items that were listed on the handout that we were given here. And I appreciate the information that was provided on the inhabited multi-lot subdivisions here. And that there possibly could be a double check in Copper Ridge Estates, just to confirm the accuracy there. And that Wright Estates is 100% occupied, so that's awesome. So again, looking at this, it's a possibility Copper Ridge Estates may be eligible. And of course, if not, they are still eligible to purchase at the cost sharing rate, each resident. And then the Wright residents would be added, or the Wright multi-lot subdivision would be added here because it's 100% occupied. So that's one. We mentioned the main roads, those would be standalone, so we're not even going to discuss those here because that's a whole new line there on its own. The cemeteries and halls, we mentioned Minook. I'm assuming that's the Minook Cemetery, being the hall has got asphalt in front of it. And the South Athabasca Hall Cemetery is listed here. I'm good with so far where we're at. The lagoons, I need a bit more understanding. Because it mentions Wandering River that the county does 500 meters to the east already.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any need for any additional dust suppression in that area?
The garbage dump?
Note the lagoon.
No, but can we add the dump? We
Oh,
do
the
it
landfill?
already. Yeah.
I think we do the landfill already.
Do we do landfill?
The one that's southeast of Wandering River?
Yes.
We do all the residents in both directions from it.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Thank you.
So if we want to set a route in there, or if you want to continue doing both,
Okay,
just let me know.
Deputy Reed Mins?
I don't quite know where the lagoons came in at. Like who talked about the lagoons?
We talked about it because it was listed on our list. There was only Boyle was in here somewhere.
Yeah, well, Boyle is done under an agreement for when the lagoon was removed out
Here he
by
is.
Skeleton Lake.
Yeah.
And the county got into an agreement with Boyle to be able to haul all the can't even.
Effluent.
There we are, effluent into the Boyle Lagoon. And to get that agreement, we agreed to spray the 150 meters or whatever by that resident
Okay.
that lives there. That's the only thing about the lagoons, because the rest of them, nobody lives there. So.
Okay, so there's no need for, you're saying there's no need for dust suppression. We don't have residents for the Wandering River Lagoon?
No,
Okay,
because that's covered by the hamlet.
but the county does 500 meters to the east of it
Yeah, because of the hamlet.
because of the hamlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grassland.
Let's just
Lagoon.
hammer one off. How does everybody feel about the Wandering River? We'll just hammer these off one at a time. Wandering River Lagoon, if it's getting east already covering residences, do we need to have it on this list? Nope.
I think it needs to stay there so that we have.
The 500 meters, yes, but any
Right?
additional,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's why we
Yeah.
had it. We, just so that future administrations know that to continue to do that 500.
so we would add it to our Schedule A list, Wandering River Lagoon. Okay, because just so they know it's already been done or it's being done.
Correct.
And included. Okay, so that's already in the budget. It's not an additional add to the budget, or the 500 meters is already there.
We
Okay,
did it last year
okay.
and probably previous years.
So did we do from the lagoon entrance 500 meters to the
No, it's adjacent to the hamlet.
right? Okay. Okay.
Okay, everybody's good with the where Wandering River sits as is.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's really not an addition, it's just to confirm that we're going to continue doing it. That's how I understand this.
Right.
Okay, Grassland, Lagoon.
I don't see why it wouldn't be done. It's a dust tunnel. Most times in grassland, as soon as the wind picks up anyways.
Okay, so you're for it and it's not, and nothing has been done in
Into
that.
the lagoon?
Well, maybe not so much into the lagoon, but I mean that extra dust coming in. Have you ever been in grassland when the winds pick up and everything else? Maybe some dust suppression would help with some of that as well. It's like a wind tunnel straight through.
Is the traffic count on that road sufficient to warrant that expense?
I'm not sure. I'd have Director Morton.
Sorry, I don't know offhand what the traffic count is on that road.
So do we have sewer trucks that are going in there from subdivisions? Okay, so that, for me, that side of the county, there are a lot of acreages, there are a lot of lake lots, there would seem to be quite a busy in the summertime when we're needing it. Usage there from trucks that are going in there, but that's, I
I would like to keep it.
You would like to keep it, okay. Counselor Dahalik? Okay, thank you. Stasiak, Counselor Stasiak,
I'm not familiar with it, so I'll reserve comment.
okay,
I'm okay with it, but
okay,
don't.
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good.
Yeah.
Counselor Chizen for Grassland Lagoon. Oh, you're on mute, hun.
Oops.
Counselor.
I'm good with it also.
Okay, Counselor Callahan,
I'm not familiar with it either, but I trust my colleagues that are, so I'm good with it.
Thank you. Counselor Hall,
Have we done it historically?
you'd be good with dropping it?
No, I've asked, have we done it historically?
I missed what he said.
Historically, have we done it before?
Historically, we have not, from what I understand.
I just don't see the traffic counts being high enough to warrant the extra expense. Like, it's a dead end road. How fast can they get going on that and how much like, I just don't see the traffic counts being warranting it in this circumstance.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Reed Mins.
I guess I'll back it up on this way that we have traffic going in there, we have businesses on both sides of it. And there's other areas that we do these roads due to that fact in a hamlet, so I would say, yeah, I got no problem with it, but yeah, I got no problem with keeping it on there because it is a hamlet road
Okay, thank you.
and we have businesses beside.
Okay, so it sounds like the poll in the room would be to keep it. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the next one, Collinton. We don't currently do Collinton. And I'm not familiar with where the lagoon is.
There's nobody that lives there. What we do is we come in off of Collington to go towards the lagoon, again is done by, because we're in the hamlet. So we do that in front of people's places, but once we get across the bridge, the lagoon is another maybe 200 meters turn off. So I would say, no, it doesn't need to be done.
Okay. I'm going with your expertise there, Counselor Stasiak. Okay, this is so far, we're striking Collington.
I'm really unfamiliar
Okay.
with it.
So we're trusting our colleague, Counselor DeHolick. Okay, how are we doing on the screen, Counselor Chisholm?
Well, I honestly don't know where the lagoon is there in Collington. I guess my concern was as long as we're fair to all the lagoons in the county.
Okay, Director Morton, how do you feel about Collington?
If we're still doing the residents, it's probably fine.
Okay, Counselor Callahoo?
I don't know. I think a lot of us aren't going to be familiar with every area. So again, it's either going with trusting colleagues or I guess Director Morton would be the best opinion to go for that for me. Because he's the pro in that area.
Awesome, Counselor Hall.
Just like grassland, to me, it's a no.
Okay, it's a no. So I think we've done the poll around the room that's no. Deputy Reed Jim. Okay, thank you for the expertise from Deputy Reed and Director Morton. Go, next one, Baptiste.
Okay, I'm gonna comment on that. That's a no.
Baptiste is a no.
Nobody lives there.
Before you ask me, I have no idea where.
Okay, okay.
Well,
These are
hopefully you got a
right?
bit of an idea where it's at because we got a great big gravel stockpile going right beside it.
Oh, that's called the Baptiste? Okay, I was like, don't know where one is at the Baptiste. So, yeah, I know where that one is. And yes, yeah,
If we're doing a gravel haul there, is it going to get done anyway?
No,
no.
Okay, just wondering.
we're looking to save money, right?
Yeah, we had talked about whether or not that one needed done. And it was more just because of the RV dump, but I don't think it needs to.
Okay. So we have recommendation from both the director and the resident counselor. That's a no. And I'm thinking, is everyone else on the same boat? Everybody shaking their heads? Yes, yes. Counselor Hall, I'm thinking that's a no for you too.
Horse.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna knock that one off as a no. And Rochester, Counselor Stasiak.
I would say that would be a no. It's at the end of the half mile. I don't even think the rabbits go there.
Alrighty, Director Martin, you concur? All right, so I'm thinking around the room. Everybody satisfied with the no? If we can have a show of, yep, no, 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 no. Counselor Hall, I'm sure you said no.
No.
Yeah. So we, on this list for lagoons, we have keeping Wandering River as is and adding grassland.
And can we try to make some database decisions in the future? Maybe ask admin to do a traffic count out there and see what it really is like. Like I'm okay with testing it, but I still don't believe the traffic counts are high enough for that to be worth the spend.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Chamzik.
I think that's a great idea. And I mean, the great thing is this will be coming back next year too, right?
Yep. Awesome. So I think when we look at our list that we were given this morning, we mentioned the multi-lot subdivisions. We have an addition here of the Wright Estates. Copper Ridge Estates would be given an inspection, if that, just to double check on that one,
Well, actually, I'm assuming council's policy will
cover it.
cover all
Thank you.
multi-lot subdivisions.
Perfect.
So we will have to look at them all
Okay.
and see how the definition applies to each subdivision.
Okay.
For
the
dwelling.
75%. For the, and dwelling in the 75%. Perfect.
Can we get a definition of what a multi-lot subdivision is? How many houses does it take?
Well, again, when we look at the 2025 map book, and I believe this can be sold to the public as well. It lists in here townships, hamlets, multi-lots and lakes. And so the multi-lot tab is there. And that again, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw it on the fee schedule that the public can purchase this. So that would be what I'm assuming we go by for definition. Does that make sense or no? I don't know. I would turn that over to administration to confirm. Because we also have the we also have the lake subdivisions as well that are listed here. So they're in two different ones, multi-lot and then lake subdivisions. They're two different.
So I guess through the chair, I mean, I had the same question, right? Or this started out me asking what is a multi-lot? And if that's what we want to go by is that map book, that if council is comfortable with those ones being the multi-lots, then that's fine with us.
Thank you. The and just so people are aware, on our page 8 of our agenda package, number 2, it says multi-lot country residential and lakeshore residential subdivisions. So it would cover both those tabs off in the, as far as I understand it to be, of the 2025 map book. Is that
I
fair?
still think we should have some, I mean, for me, I'd like to understand how do we get it to be a multi-lot subdivision? Because I can think of other places that are, busy roads that really have half a dozen or more parcels that are developed adjacent to a road that look like a multi-lot subdivision, but they don't have a sign out front with a name. Do we need to get a sign with a name so we can call it a multi-lot? Like how do we define it? Is it 4 houses in a block? Is it 6? Is it?
How is a multi-lot subdivision looked at through planning and development? That's how many lots off of per quarter. I think it's 6. I think if there's 6 or over lots taken out of a quarter, all of a sudden it's decided that that's a multi-lot subdivision. Then they have to go through and do this, that they have to jump through the burning hoop, don't they, on doing a bunch of engineering and all this other stuff. So if it's just I think it's more 6 or more.
And they typically have an internal access road.
Yeah, typically, yeah. But I think that's the way it's defined in the P&D regulations.
There would be.
So I'm looking at, the multi-lot block of homes just off of Township 660, which is west of the when you go west toward the South Athabasca Hall Road and carry on west where the road curves there. You know, that's a busy stretch of road. There's a number of houses right up against the road. I think by the map, I count at least 7 coming out of one quarter plus another couple in the next quarter. That's not listed that I could find as a multi-lot subdivision, but maybe I missed it. Does that meet the standard?
Yes, that term.
all those lots there, like if you're talking west of South Athabasca Road, all them lots there are on off of one quarter.
7 are off one quarter and the 8th is off a second. Yep.
Yeah, so would that be classified as a multi-lot subdivision? I would hazard to guess yes.
Because there are internal access roads, which I think are not the ones that need the dust control. It's the the main road in front of them.
Yeah,
But it's certainly a concern, because I might have missed it, but there's no sign out front, calling it Men's Estates or whatever. It's just a bunch of houses.
it's close, but no, it's not that.
Well, and I don't see it in our. So I'm not sure how you would like to, if we're adding it to the lake or to the land ownership map book. Would that be something you would want to see added to the multi-lot? Section of the book?
Well, I'm trying to look to compare it with some others, and I'm not familiar with Wright Estates, so and that's where the question comes up, what does it take to be a multi-lot? What really makes sense? And there are some multi-lots that I think probably traffic speeds are quite low and, may not even make sense for us to be applying dust control, where there are others where they're subject to roads with, a good traffic volume and high speeds that probably would arguably be a better
Well, and
place to put it.
just for folks, Wright Estates is off the Old Colton Highway. And there are definitely 6 lots in there with an internal road off the Old Colton Highway. And as we all know, the Old Colton Highway is probably one of the worst sections of road in the county for dust. So where do we want to go, folks? Are we adding this or are we going to look at that for next year? How do you want to handle it? To confirm the definition? I think
I'd like to see it added.
a definition for multi-lot?
No, those parcels.
Oh, the ones on, you're talking east of South Athabasca?
Correct.
Okay. Are we gonna call it the South Athabasca multi-lot subdivision?
Just maybe a suggestion it might already be there. Let me look.
Okay,
Yeah. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think we do that.
okay.
I think we do.
I
that,
do,
so.
but
So I'm just gonna make a note on Schedule A here. And we will
I know
add,
we had done it one year, but I think it was a number of residents had expressed concerns about the level of dust.
okay,
I
So-
don't know if it's regularly on the list or not.
I'm not seeing it, but we can certainly have that added. We'll just call it the South Athabasca for now, and then it can be confirmed whether it's been done or not. Is that accurate or good enough for everyone? Because I was looking through on page 8 are the multi-lot, country residential and lakeshore residential. I'm not saying that properly, lake shore residential subdivisions. We have the hard surfaced, the subdivision group 1 and subdivision group 2. I'm assuming we would add it to group 1. Because group 2 looks to be like lakes. So I guess where we're at, on so far for the multi-lot subdivisions and lakes, we're looking at adding any subdivision that meets the new criteria. If that makes sense.
and
Or
the
do you
new
want that to-
criteria is
75% inhabited. Yep. And hopefully identified in the 2025 map book. Because like I say, we do sell that. And I didn't see the South Athabasca one there, but if we could add South Athabasca to the subdivisions group 1,
Yep.
okay? So far for a motion here, I'm almost tempted to say as discussed, but we'll run through this one more time. Multi-lot subdivisions, including, how are we gonna put that? To ensure multi-lot subdivisions, receive dust control that are eligible according to the 75% inhabited. And with the addition of South Athabasca, because I don't know what else to call it. Okay, with the addition of the South Athabasca, is it on South Athabasca Road?
West of.
Okay,
It's on Township 660.
Township 660. West. Okay. And the addition of the grassland, because we already do the Wandering River. Minnook Cemetery and South Athabasca Hall. Does that cover, everybody's got those ones?
Can I ask, so on some of these ones that are specifically into waste landfills, is that something we should be billing back to the Waste Commission? Rather than, so that, because it's the commission that's creating the traffic and the dust, and that way the cost can be shared by all commission partners, not just by all county residents only.
Interesting.
It's,
Let's face it, Athabasca carries the bag for lots of our neighbors, and you know, maybe we would still carry the bulk of this, as you know, Councillor Mins knows, but it allows the commission to pay their way on their own roads.
So I'm assuming that would be a decision of the commission and whether or not they would accept that proposal. I guess I don't know what else to call it.
it's transfer stations owned by Athabasca County. I guess if you want requisitions to go up in the Waste Commission, yeah, we can put it on to them.
But it would be a net negative though, because whatever we like, the requisition gets spread across 13 municipalities or 14 versus 100% Athabasca County. So it comes down on the county side and up on the commission side, but not up as much as it's gone down.
I guess that could be put out to the commission and the commission can decide. I'm here as a county councillor right now, so if the county wants to push this back onto the commission, I guess there's gotta be a letter wrote to the commission that says you gotta pay for that, right? And then we'll discuss it there. I'm not gonna discuss it here.
Do we need a motion to direct administration to send that to the commission, or are we going to discuss that? How do you guys want to handle it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
Please go ahead.
Okay, it's just a question. Sorry. Are we the only rural municipality in the commission?
Rural, no, there's
I just like if the other rural communities do the same.
yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
don't-
because
It's just a question, sorry.
yeah, we're the biggest player. We're the biggest player. So you got the town of Athabasca, you got the village of Boyle, and you got the summer villages that that use either the village of Boyle or the Boyle area or the Whispering Hills transfer station. MD of Lesser Slave River, they bring it into our regional landfill, so. Yeah, it would be pretty well land all on Athabasca County.
It's probably,
Just-
we're probably the only rural that really does a lot of business with the commission, because I think Lesser Slave River, a lot of their stuff They also have a different landfill commission over on the farther west, don't they, Rob?
Yep, yep, you betcha. So,
So in this scenario, do you want to send a letter from Athabasca County requesting consideration of the Waste Commission for this?
I didn't even bring it up.
No, I'm just kind of looking around. I'm just kind of looking
So
around the
here's the
room.
thing, if we ask them, do you want to pay more? They're just gonna say no. If we just strike it from the list and say, if you'd like dust control on these roads, here's the fees, then they can make a choice whether they want dust control or not. So I think the process should be just to strike those from the list, and if the commission wants dust control, then they can apply to have it. And it
Councillor
can be
Chambliss?
shared among all the municipalities, not just among our own ratepayers.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Chamzik, and then, and.
I seem to remember this conversation from councillors far before us of a service that was provided by Athabasca County for the ratepayers. As a service that is provided by Athabasca County for the ratepayers.
Okay. So let's just deal with this right now and do a poll. Is this something that council would like to pursue? I'm gonna start. Deputy Admin said no. No, he said no. Councillor Stasiak?
Can you come back to me? I want to hear other opinions. Because I'm relying on the opinion that, because I'm still thinking about this, but
Okay.
I would lean more towards no.
You're
for
leaning-
now.
For now, you're leaning that way. I know I'm leaning to no as well, because again, this is an Athabasca County, I think, driven, from, I don't think we have a whole lot of sewer dumping from the town.
We're talking about garbage dumps, waste land transfer states.
We're talking lagoons at this point.
No, transfer station.
Where did, no, but this is where I was at on the thing. We don't have transfer stations on this list here that we were given.
No, but
today.
this is another initiative that Councillor Hall brought up, is to take away from doing dust control for transfer stations.
So that's totally new and added.
Madam Chair, they're on page 14 of the agenda. They're in the list.
Cemeteries, Whispering Hills landfill. Okay, I see them at the bottom there. Oh, they're mixed in with the major access roads. Is that what
Yep.
you're saying? So we've got the Whispering Hills landfill road.
Correct.
We have the Wandering River landfill road. We have the
Grassland should be on there.
Grassland landfill. Do we have Collinton?
No,
That's bizarre.
that's covered under the Slaughterhouse Road program.
There's a Slaughterhouse Road program.
There was, used to be.
Is it still existing?
Yeah, it's Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, that still exists?
Yeah, it was all done last year.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this, yeah, all right, well, I'm gonna
And
step.
it should be, and it should not be landfill, it should be transfer station.
Transfer station, so to make some wording changes here. Transfer station, so. Before we go to the transfer station thing, let's put this list to bed first. That what we talked about, and then we'll come back to that, so that we can, instead of mixing them together. The list that was provided this morning from Director Morton. We're looking at the multi-lot subdivisions. We've already mentioned they would be investigated accordingly to the motion that we passed for the 75% inhabited, right? So we don't have to consider those anymore. The Plumonden connector to the Tower Road, we won't be looking at today. That's a total standalone thing. So what we're looking at off this list is the addition here is Manook Cemetery, South Athabasca Hall Cemetery. Wandering Rivers is staying the same, so that's not to be in part of this motion. Grassland is a yes to add. So far, Manook Cemetery, South Athabasca Hall Cemetery, Grassland, and I believe the new identified South Athabasca multi-lot name subdivision, correct?
And
The
any,
660 east or 660 west?
any other ones that were in the map book? The colonies within Athabasca County.
We passed the colony one already. Motion.
I thought you were done with the list. I thought you'd approve that.
We didn't do a motion on we did the motion on the colonies, but now we're just doing the, any other additions, but the colony was separate. Yeah. So just to keep it clean for the, other additions. On this motion, the addition to Schedule A would be Minnook Cemetery, South Athabasca Hall Cemetery, Grassland Lagoon, and the South Athabasca Township 660 West multi-lot subdivision. Did I capture it all, folks? Everybody's good? Counselor DeHoller.
Yeah, when we come to the end of that Brainerd Road, Brainerd really, the residents live south of that road, so it's just kind of an L. I was just wondering if we couldn't extend it another probably 400 meters to include that housing.
Brainerd's on the Hamlet list, is it,
Yeah, it's on the Hamlet list.
right? And
Yeah.
but you don't think it's, the Hamlet's being covered?
No,
In the
no,
entirety?
no, it's not covered in its entirety.
So we would want to make sure that the Hamlet borders are taken into consideration, I guess, being that it's on Schedule A.
That's right.
Okay. So that would be something that, you know, being that it's listed under Hamlets, that the Hamlet borders would be into consideration from infrastructure when they lay it?
Right.
Okay, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Counselor?
that would also include our industrial areas as well within Hamlet borders, right?
I don't know. I don't know if there's industrial areas within the Hamlet borders. I don't know.
Which,
Yes.
Is it done now?
I believe parts of it is. I believe parts of it is.
Director Martin, are you familiar?
I couldn't speak to whether every one was done in Grassland or not. I know we did some, but I don't know
Okay.
if they were.
So it says calcium chloride treatment as per plan. So I'm not sure what the plan, is that a different document?
This wasn't in policy
Right?
before, right?
This is
So this has
exactly
been
it.
dug up from an old policy,
Yeah.
so last year we didn't have any of this in policy, so
So are we basically saying that as per plan would be the Hamlet plan itself?
I.
Area
would
structure
think
plan?
so.
Well, I mean, we could go with that for this year. It'll be coming back annually and data collection's important too.
Okay. Yep,
Administration can investigate it.
sure.
If there's an issue, they can come back with something.
Okay, so folks, we're ready for this motion. Everybody understands the ones that we have listed as the ad? Everybody's good with it, or do you want me to run it one more time?
No. I'm good there, but like, are we gonna make a motion for this list?
Not this list, just the ones identified.
Oh, okay,
If that works? You
Yeah.
want me to run through the ones identified?
yeah.
Okay.
No.
No, you're good?
No, okay.
You got it? One more time. All right, we're gonna run through it one more time. So the items that we would like to add are Minnook Cemetery, South Athabasca Hall Cemetery, Grassland Lagoon, and multi-lot subdivision, South Athabasca Township Road 660 West. Okay, everybody's happy? If we're ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 And any opposed? Did you vote?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Perfect. All right, 8-0. Thank you, folks. Woohoo. All right,
But. Okay.
go ahead. Hang on, we gotta,
We gonna look at these add-ons? Like,
one
oh,
person,
okay, we're gonna come to,
I'm confused.
well, these add-ons, like, are we charging full cost for these add-ons or?
Well, we're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
those additional dust control besides
Yeah.
the cost share, yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. Yes, please go ahead, Councilor Paul. Oh, good idea. Great idea. I'm sorry. I'm so enthralled in getting this through this list. So yes, if we could please take a 10-minute recess and return at 11:15. Let's just make it even. Awesome. Thank you thank you very much. We're back from our quick break. I think where we are at now is the additional dust suppression for people requesting additional outside of the cost sharing program. We mentioned product at cost to include product application costs or deny it altogether was kind of what last where we left it. I'll start. I'm for the cost to be including the product and the application. And of course, gravel, we've determined already would not be in part of that application. So your equipment and your man hours and the product itself. That's where I'm at for the add-ons. Please go ahead.
So for argument's sake, that would be the 1150.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
just so everybody knows.
right.
we're
What that
talking.
cost would be. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so where are we at? Who wants to, you're good with that one? So we're looking at product and application costs for any additional requests. And that's per 100 meters, the 1150 or 200 meters.
Yeah.
So 1150 for 200 meters. They want 100 meters. Can they do that? No, I gotta know. It's gotta be a 200-meter set or, you know,
It was 100 meters, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
100.
it can stay at that. We can.
So we would
split the
just split it
cost.
in half, right? So, okay. Okay, so that's per 100-meter at cost. Okay. Go ahead, please. Counselor Stasia.
Just for clarification here, as I was reading this last night, I'm assuming that it is discussed between the applicant and the county as to where it actually goes. It's not at the end of 200 segment.
It's gotta be, it's gotta be at the end of 200.
Okay, but
Or the other.
okay, but so then can you move the 200 segment over some so that the 300 total ends up being in the middle of their driveway?
Yes,
Okay, that was.
they have to draw it
have to
on
identify.
application. There's a map. They have to show where they want it.
Okay.
And if they want to buy 200 meters, you know, we can make it off whichever end, as long as it's continuous,
Right.
so that it can all be applied at the same time.
Yes, okay, fair enough. That's good.
That's good. Okay, so that's a yes for you and a yes for you. Counselor Chamblick, yes. Counselor Hollick's a yes. Counselor Chizen.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Kalu.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hall.
Indifferent.
Indifferent. All right, so we will put a motion. I know we're doing these motions one at a time, but it just makes it very clear. Okay, so this is, do we already have an add-on in the policy? So that would be to direct administration to change the wording in the policy for additional dust suppression to include product and application costs. Does that sound
Yeah, I
good?
think something along the line of full cost recovery.
Full cost recovery, to include full cost recovery. With the understanding, of course, that gravel's not there.
Correct.
Okay. So does everybody understand that motion? Full cost recovery for additional dust suppression. Okay, we're ready for the vote. All those in favor?
I.
I
That's, I don't see any opposed. Sorry, go ahead.
Who moved it?
Counselor Stasiak did. Thank you. And that was 8-0. Thank you. All right, where are we at here? We're moving, flying through this every second year. How about that one? So okay, so what I wrote down here is every second year with the exception of major access roads unless required. Yeah, smaller access roads to be reconsidered if the area is more for residents than a thoroughfare road is what I kind of understood from Councillor Hall's comments from the last meeting, but I was hoping to get some clarification on that. Smaller access roads be reconsidered if the area is more for residents than a thoroughfare type road. I'm thinking that's what he meant, but I was hoping to get clarification on that.
Okay.
Councillor Hall?
You're making reference to a comment from meetings ago without a page number or anything. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So this list that I created to try and streamline this meeting was from the meeting that we had the other day. And that was just a comment that I tried to understand that was made by yourself, but,
In what context, at what point in the meeting? Like, I'm sorry, I don't have your list, but I also, like, I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't know what it's referencing, Tracy, so I'd be happy to elaborate if I could remember when it came.
okay, understood. So basically what we were talking about, in the last meeting was that, according to Schedule A, we have hamlets, multi-lot country residential, lakeshore residential subdivisions, major access roads and stabilization projects, cemeteries, public facilities. And I think that was it. So what we were talking about is that everything other than major access roads would be considered every 2 years, not applied every year. And then there was a comment made, with regards to major access roads being every year, or if they didn't need it, as required, right? Every year and as required, because sometimes maybe they might need a second application or they might not need it at all, I guess. So then it was mentioned there's smaller access roads be reconsidered, if the areas is more residential than a major access type road as required. So basically, I guess what we're looking at here is every second year. Schedule A, dust control identified on Schedule A, dust suppression for Schedule A identified locations would be every second year, with the exception of major access roads and stabilization projects. Deputy Mintz.
I would say every second year or as required.
Okay, every second year or as required
For the whole list.
for the whole list.
Cause
Same with your major access roads,
the whole list.
the whole list.
Because the biggest thing is in this list, no one but Athabasca County is paying for this. So we should be able to decide on our own if we're gonna pay for it. And that's why I say go every second year. If you spray some of these places 1 year, look at them, and if they don't need it, we don't spray it.
Okay,
And then that way we're saving money by, I don't think we need to, there's some of these areas that don't need to be sprayed every year. It worked before, prior to us abolishing this. It worked before where we sprayed them every second year.
okay. So my only question then becomes is, are we going to apply this year and start the second year plan? Or are we going to have, infrastructure determine?
Well, I think we should, because we sprayed all these roads last year.
Not necessarily.
I guarantee you we did.
Go ahead, please, Counselor. Director Morton, I'm gonna call you Counselor Morton.
I guess through the chair, it makes it quite difficult to manage and administer. So, I mean, we know that they're all going to be a fight because somebody's going to disagree with whoever our inspector is. But I think the bigger challenge comes with our program is usually May and June, and we're wrapped up. You know, they can look pretty good in May and June, not so good in August. You know, I'm not sure how much do we want to be starting our program in August?
Right.
Right? Because we could be in a situation where we're going to be doing 50% of these in August. Well, we're not really set up to do programs in August.
So as required is kind of not palatable, right?
It would be much simpler if it was, you know, certain roads are going to get every year and other ones are only going to get every second year. And if people want it on the second year, then they can apply. But I'm just throwing it out there. It's going to create some administrative challenges for us. We take those staff from that program when that program's wrapped up to go do other programs. So we would have to stop doing other stuff to come back to do dust control again.
Okay. Okay.
I,
Deputy
I,
Reed.
I think that's what we're saying though. Is we, because this road is in August, it gets dusty. Like I'm thinking more of a subdivision road. It gets dusty in August. And if people understand that we'll spray it next year, we're not gonna spray it this year. Because yes, I agree, this program cannot keep running 24/7, keep running 24/7, even though we still spray stuff in October.
We do warranty stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that, but I totally agree, that's why these roads were marked down by the individual who was looking after the program, and it was kept track of. We sprayed Century Estates this year. They're not getting sprayed next year. And if somebody wants to add on a dust control in there, they have the ability to do it by paying 200 for the 200 meters. But we spray these roads every second year and point blank.
That's clear. So
Yeah.
if what was said before that wasn't quite that clear.
As required.
It was as needed basis, right? On an as needed basis, I would be doing dust control
Also,
all the time,
Yeah.
right? Whereas every second year is pretty clear.
and
Yeah.
that's for Schedule A. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody still wants to get involved in the cost sharing program, that's not in Schedule A, so a resident who's not having it paid for by the county totally here, like cost, like this is basically paid for by the county.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Counselor DeHaan.
Yeah, I like that. I think the biggest thing is to educate these people, is to let them know what we're doing, and I think it'll just be clear from there on.
Okay, so I don't see any hands up on the screen. So basically then I would understand the motion to be that Schedule A, locations listed on Schedule A would be completed every second year or as required?
No,
Nope, getting rid of the or as required, every second year.
second year.
Okay,
Somehow. And somehow if the ratepayer on the second year wants to add on 200 meters in front of their area or in front of their dwelling, they can. Under the cost share.
but that would be during the time frame of the
Yep.
time frame that we would be out there. They couldn't do it.
No,
So off the second year, they would be able to opt into the cost sharing program.
yeah, that's the way we had it said before. Had it worded
Okay.
before, was they could opt in if they felt that they needed. I seen one, I think it was in Baywin Estates. One guy said, no, I want dust control this year, okay? Then we'll do the 200 meters and you'll pay for it, like you'll pay the cost share. And all your neighbors in front of you will benefit from it too, but I only seen maybe one person jump on that.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
And I apologize, Madam Chair. I'm gonna need a little more clarity. So the Colony decision, that's every second year, because that'll be part of Schedule A now, right? So everything you added here is getting added into Schedule A. So I just want to make sure that I understand what I'm being told.
Well,
Okay, so
we,
let's,
we discussed this before about tearing the Schedule A apart. Because we got hearts, we got cold mix, we've got asphalt, we've got fiber mat, we've got
yeah, that would,
oiled, we
so
got
that-
everything in here.
so you're saying like, so for example, on page 13 of Schedule A, 2A, multi-lot and country residential, the hard surface would just come out of the Schedule A.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna remove this. So 2A is removed. Then you have section B. I'm leaving the hamlets there because of course that's just a given, right? So 2B, group 1, those are the lake subdivisions. Some are showing asphalt and then calcium chloride, okay, so I'm looking at Lyle Estates. Asphalt pavement and then calcium chloride Range Road 222, plus or minus 400 meters. So are you, like, for me, these particular subdivisions in group 1 would be every second year. Would that remain as
Yeah.
what you'd hope to be? Okay. Subdivision group 2, same thing. And it's as listed, right? As it's described. So every second year, those are the lake subdivisions. Okay,
Mhm.
we're all good with that. Page 14, we have the major access roads. And that's where it's listing, the Hutterite colony is listed in there. So this
Yeah.
is why I was wondering about major access.
But we made a new, we made a new motion.
Yes.
Regarding all Hutterite colonies in Athabasca County, so that needs to be removed out of here.
So we should change the Hutterite colonies from major access to subdivision.
No,
No?
just
Where do you-
remove it.
Just remove it.
Yeah.
Because they're a totally separate, different policy,
So
but they should somewhere appear
it's
on.
gotta be
Schedule
on,
A.
it's gotta be listed. So we can make a separate
Subdivision group.
group for it or a different
So the
Schedule B or,
how about in multi-lot, country residential, which is item number 2, we have a subdivision group, we have a group 3. And that would be the Hutterite colonies. Does that cover that?
Yep.
Group 3, under item 2, multi-lot, country
So-
residential, lakeshore residential, group 3. And if that's, and that would be, letter D, group 3. Hutterite colony within Athabasca County. Better put that in there. Go ahead, please.
I just, like some of those major routes,
Mhm.
aren't you gonna want some of those done every year?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then if we were gonna do major access roads every year, then the Hutterian colonies could stay in that list.
Okay.
If you're gonna do some of those every year.
Okay,
I-
So-
I'm,
that's where I had originally had said, every second year with the exception of major access roads. And that's what that's listed here is item number 3 is major access roads. So what we have there is like Allendale Estates, which is, what is that, north of Township 6.
North of town.
Yeah, that's,
But that South Athabasca one on 660 would be equivalent to Allendale in terms of traffic, I would expect. So
Okay,
that should be in
because
this
it's,
list too, right?
because it's on the major access, yeah. So the South Athabasca one would be added there, yeah, I agree. So everybody's having a look, I'm assuming, at item number 3 on page 14 of Schedule A, the major access roads. Just to run through them, I'll list them: Allendale Estates, Aspen Ridge Road, which most of that's pavement. Oh, I see, 1 mile east of Highway 2 to Old Highway. Yep, that makes sense. Athabasca Airport Access,
it's going to be removed.
and at that I'm confused as to why that would have.
No,
to be
no,
removed.
that doesn't have to be removed. It's just, we did the hard surface.
it's hard surface now.
Yeah, just gotta be a hard surface now.
So it's just an update on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Baptiste Lake, and is it Rena Road? I don't know what that is.
Ring Road.
Oh, is that, so it's just in spelling?
There's a number of spelling mistakes.
I don't know
probably.
what-
Yeah, this was transformed from a PDF and it didn't
Yep.
come through real clear.
Got it. Okay. Bondus Road, Brainette Access Road, Buffalo Lake Road, Caslin North to Provincial Park. It says oiled. You wanted that
That, to, oil/calcium.
Oil/calcium. The Cemetery Road, Rochester. And it mentions in here as required. So again, right, because we're talking about every year on this particular section. So if we leave that one as required, is that fair?
Which one, sorry?
Cemetery Road, Rochester.
I think, yeah.
I would say eliminate because that's a damp road because of trees and. Oh, I'm sorry. That's kind of a damp road. I don't think it ever really gets dusty down there. I'm not sure it's even necessary.
So leave it there as, or take it out as a major access road
Yes. Yes, I'd like to take it out as a major access road.
and move it down to the cemeteries one.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be then every second year in that section, okay? County Beach West. Deer Ridge Estates Road. Forfar Park Access. Golden Nodding Acres. The Grassland Transfer Station, right?
Yep.
Because we're changing the landfill from to transfer station.
That one I think we should take out altogether.
Grassland Transfer Station, Counselor Chamzik.
I do think it stays. It's a busy road. It is something that was fought about in councils before us as chosen as the primary route to the transfer station.
Okay. Should we do a round
Oh,
table?
okay,
But
yeah,
I mean, just for clarity, what we're asking, I would propose the three transfer station roads that are listed get out of the automatic pay list and assigned to the commission so that the all users can share the cost of doing it, not just county users. That's, I agree that they should be have dust suppression. I think the burden of doing it should go to, you know, the summer villages and the others who use them, not just county residents.
Okay, so that'll be a separate motion, I think, in a separate discussion. Yeah,
I'm just gonna ask a question here. What summer village would use the Grassland or Wandering River Transfer Station Road? Which summer village would actually use that?
Well, certainly there's the Boyle transfer station down in the south and the summer villages over on the west side.
oil's not on here.
Would use the Grassland or Wandering River transfer stations? Are you saying that, Councillor Hall, that the Grassland?
I haven't said that, Councillor Mins. I've said that these roads are required for the commission. It would be not unreasonable to test whether the commission should pay for them.
straight, no.
Councillor Pollock, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can't do that overnight. You know, that's gotta go to the commission, first. I don't think we can just decide that, right now.
And I think we all know what the answer would be.
Those transfer stations were placed in there just due to the fact of for the area residents. Not on behalf of the commission. Athabasca County built them transfer stations in there to enhance the accessibility for the area residents. It wasn't put in there. Those transfer stations were not put in there for the Waste Commission. And so I totally disagree with taking those roads off.
Okay,
And the grassland one is a very dangerous road if we take it off. It's a,
okay, thank you. So take it by the room. If we can do a quick poll on the transfer stations, we have a no, 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 no. Counselor Stasiak's a no. Counselor Chisholm,
No,
thank you. Counselor Callahoo,
No.
thank you. Okay, so we'll leave those alone for now. We'll just change the name from landfill to transfer station. And as mentioned, the Hutterite colonies can remain here in this list because we're looking at this as every year, this particular list.
Oh.
Okay, that's just this item for major access roads. Muwatha Beach. This is mentioning from Range Road 190 from Railway northwards towards the summer village of Muwatha boundary, and that was effective 2014. It mentions in this list, so I'm going to leave it there. Pack Beach intersection, Perryvale Hill, Richmond Park Truck Fill Station Road, Rochester East Hill, Saudi Road, Tower Pit Access, Wandering River Forestry Station, the Wandering River Transfer Station, the Whispering Hills Transfer Station, and the Whispering Hills Road. So the only thing that I see any changes on here is an addition of the South Athabasca Township 660 West subdivision, and to move Rochester Cemetery Road down to cemeteries.
Can we just, you know, from those who've been around longer, what was the history of why the Muwatha Beach Road is on there?
From 2014? Deputy Reed Mintz.
I guess that would be coming at me. That was added on there just due from the railway around the corner to up to the boundary of the Muwatha Beach Summer Village is our resident is living there. And that was added on there just because of that. It a lot of traffic goes in and out of there, and that's always been on there.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think there might be an agreement on that, and I'd have to go back and check because I had this inquiry before, but as you get to the lake and you go east, a bunch of those residents are ours, and as you go west, they're a bunch of Muwatha Beach residents. So they both share access down that road. A bunch of people down there are our residents.
Yeah.
Starting at the railway, it's obviously a very short distance. I just was, yeah, curious what the history was.
Okay. So where we're at then, we've gone through the major access roads being yearly, annually, and all other Schedule A would be every second year. Go ahead, Councillor Stacey.
Just possibly a correction here. I'm looking at Perryville and under
page?
the major access roads, paragraph 3 on page 14, wondering if we should add in that short stretch of road that of street that we tore up last year and put it on an annual dust suppression there. Like just the one that goes past the hall, the pavement was tore up there and it got reverted back to gravel. Go ahead.
Pardon me, is
I
that
remember
the
that,
fiber mat?
Yes.
Well, it was called fiber mat
Yeah.
that went up and around and then half of it was removed and it's got reverted back to gravel.
The residents aren't happy.
Correct, but are hamlets annual? Yeah, I am.
Deputy Reed Mintz.
Yeah, it's under Hamlets and
Correct.
we're going to do-
Previous page on paragraph 1.
Yeah.
But it says fiber mat seal treatment or roadway through the hamlet. So is that considered for the fiber mat or is that?
Yeah, the fiber mat's no longer there. Go ahead, please.
I would agree that we probably should be doing that,
Says short.
where we took
capital.
the fiber mat out, and we can either do it, but it probably. The hamlets are only getting done every second year too? Is that-
No, yep. Hamlets are every second year, it's unless we take them out.
So is that an addition or what happens there?
Okay, well, first of all, let's determine, do we want hamlets every second year or every year?
Why would we treat them different than the multi-lots?
Correct. I agree.
Well, we can always try it for
See what it's like.
yeah, it's coming back annually. Let's see what it is. I mean, cost savings are also very important.
Okay, Councillor DeHollick?
Yeah, I agree, but we probably have to try it for 2 years because
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a 2-year thing.
And I mean, it is also at the discretion of infrastructure director as well, if things do get ugly.
It would be cost shared program for those who want it. On the second year, yep. On the second year. That's what we're just referring to, yep.
Mhm.
We haven't passed a motion, but that's kind of what the understanding is.
So when you consider the one in Wandering River, that 500 meters,
Where all the.
there's a
traffic going.
lot of traffic. That will not last 2 years. So we could add it though to the major access and do it every year, but that one's got way more traffic than most roads in this municipality.
So we would want to add the major access route, Wandering River,
Township 720.
Township 720,
Oh, it's there.
sorry.
I apologize. It's already
Yeah,
on the
it's
major
under the
list.
forestry station
Yeah,
is there,
it's
is there.
already there.
Okay, so Wandering River is included as yearly, go ahead.
Sorry, sorry, now I'm confused. Now the water treatment road, is that yearly as well within the hamlet of Grassland?
Where would it be identified on the list? I see the transfer station is under major access for Grassland. Looking for water treatment. Are you talking truck fills?
Yes, sorry.
So truck fills, potable truck fills under public facilities, which would be every second year.
I would
You want
argue,
the Grassland potable to be moved to major access?
I would suggest so.
What's admin's advice on that?
Yeah,
Like that truck fill is right at the intersection, right? We're probably doing it the intersection anyway.
We always did it just due to the fact it was our water treatment plant. And we cut the dust down there because that's what you do in front of a water treatment plant, I think. And that's why we always did it, eh? So I'd be fine with putting it under,
it's either under public facilities or major access road. It's currently under public facilities.
I
Which
think
is on
that
page
that would be major access.
Would like it moved. Moved. That's a major access road, so it's done yearly. Everybody's shaking so far. Is everybody in agreement on screen? Yes, yes, and Councillor Hall?
I think depending on the distance, if we're doing it anyway.
Okay. So I think the consensus here, Deputy Edmonds, go ahead.
yeah, we can do it under. So public accesses, we're gonna do every year?
Public facilities, no.
Oh.
We were going to move public facilities, this Grassland potable truck fill, which is under public facilities to major access.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, no, I'm good with that.
okay, so Grassland potable moves from public facilities to major access. Okay, Councillor Stacia?
So just for re-clarification here, what did we decide with Perryville Hall Avenue, I guess we'll call it?
It
Is
would
that
be-
added to, or is that, because
It was included
it
all,
was kind of a nod, but I don't know if there was a definite yes or no, or what?
I think wasn't it in
Yeah,
It-
Perryvale Hill?
Yeah.
Fibermat gravel seal calcium chloride.
That's where I was suggesting to move it, or to add it, was at the Perryville Hill. Because under Hamlets, it's not described as every year, it's described
Right.
as every second year.
Right, and so under Hamlet, it mentions Perryvale Fibermat gravel seal treatment on roadway through the hamlet. So that would be every second year,
Correct.
right? And then you would like added the I don't know the name.
I don't think
He
there's,
wants to move that one to major access.
yes,
Right.
we
but
don't do anything with fiber mat there. It just stays as it is.
Do you know the name of the road, the township or the range road on that so that we can add it to the
No, I'm
description?
just describing it as Hall Avenue because it's the only road that goes.
We
past.
know which one it
Yeah.
is. When we bring back the cleaned up version of this,
Okay,
well, or
so we can add it. I'll just make it a note in mine, Perryvale Hill and Hall Avenue.
Yeah, it's Hall Avenue. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. I think have we got it all, folks?
Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
One more, please. Boyle Lagoon is under agreement,
An
so
agreement.
it
yeah.
needs to be moved, so it can be done every year.
Yeah,
And Boyle Lagoon is currently under the very last item under public facilities, and we're going to move that to a major access road list. Correct, yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
So are
Okay.
we doing the Kingdom Hall because it's at the intersection of Highway 2 and Tower Road, or are we doing it because it's a hall?
From my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I took a little bit to try and figure this one out. So because it is on town jurisdiction, but it is on the east side of the road. The residence that's next door to it and the Kingdom Hall would be county. And then once we get past that resident on the east side of the road, the town takes over for all their residences on the west side of that road until the jurisdiction of the town corporate limits ends. And then we take off anything after that would be us.
So to create equity with other residents who live beside busy roads and other churches who are located beside busy roads, which I'm not sure that there are any, but I'm just wondering why this one's on the list of county pay versus
I think it was
treating
just.
it like the others.
I think it was because of the connection that the town does, that section where the housing starts on the west side of the road. Okay, yeah, Deputy Revins can explain this much better than I.
the reason that was probably put on was due to the fact that that residence on the that lives south of the hall, of the Kingdom Hall, was obtaining dust control all the time, and the county would do it just due to the fact that that residence lived in the county, paid taxes to the county. So that's why the county did sprays them. And it was so close to the intersection that we just joined it up. And that way it sprayed right from the intersection to past the person that's living south of the Kingdom Hall.
And then joins on to the town portion that goes to their corporate limit.
I don't know if it joins up or not.
I think it does, because there's pretty much directly across from.
Yeah, and if
The
it does
west hole.
join up, yeah, but the town looks after the stuff on the west side. County looks after stuff on the east side, just due to the ratepayers.
Correct us if we're wrong, right?
So, okay, sorry, Madam Chair. So we're talking about Tower Road south of Highway 55?
Yes.
Okay, so that first portion of the road to the first intersection is all town. We don't have any jurisdiction over that first half mile.
So the east side, the Kingdom Hall, and that one residence is county.
Yeah, the residents are in the county, but the road is the town's.
There you go. Thank you. So it's the town has been doing it from the highway.
Yes,
They've been applying it. We have not been.
correct.
Thank you.
So
So on that
when they,
basis, it could come off the list.
yeah, so when they annexed, and it really threw me for a loop. Cause it's not normal for that road to fall under the town's jurisdiction. But when they annexed, or they did take the road. So that portion of road is theirs.
So we can remove the Kingdom Hall from the list. Thank you. And we're good? We're good. There you go. Okay, so I think where we're at, folks, is we've determined the amendments to Schedule A's list. And that we would like to put a motion forward for, let me go through this, Schedule A, items 1, 2, 4 to be every second year. Item 3, the list is every year. Is that fair?
Which will likely be new Schedule B.
Oh, you're gonna, okay, well, whatever works best for you, but yeah. For our motion's sake. And once again, I'll run it through again because we're on page 13 to page 15. The current Schedule A, items 1, or I'll call it group 1, 2, 4 will be every second year. Group 3 would be annually. Wait,
And
public facilities falls under 4 because we've got an A and a B.
oh, okay, I'm good.
Does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
Tracy.
Yes, please go ahead, Councillor Holland.
Yeah, I just forgot this one, Marshall. You know, the Blue Jay Road East, off Highway 63. I don't even know what range road that is now. But anyways, the Blue Jay Road is really, really dusty before the pavement, before you hit the pavement. People come off the pavement and it's instant dust. And you know, it's used a lot, so I'll give you the range road on that, or it's the Blue Jay Road.
682.
Okay, thank you. 682.
Is it a residential or just not? You're looking at it as a major access road?
Well, it's used as a cutoff instead of the Plumbon connector as well, so we do something with the connector, that road won't need it, because it won't be as busy,
So can we add that to our standalone list for the connector in Tower Road?
Yes, that would probably be a good idea.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just gonna make a note so that I have that in my standalone list here. All right. Blue Jay, okay.
Like the whole road or what?
Just an area near the pavement. Where the Blue Jay Road connects to the pavement,
Okay, but for what distance?
200 yards is all. you need.
200 meters?
Yeah, 200 meters.
And that would be included under major.
Well, I guess, let's think about this again. So if we're not dealing with the standalone right away, right, that would be a separate thing. Do you want that to be considered for this year? That 200 meters?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that would be an addition to the major access road list? And it was what, Blue Jay 682? Is everybody satisfied with, go ahead, Councillor Kamzik?
I'm really struggling and I'm looking under public facilities north of Blue Heron Estates, the calcium chloride. That would be that intersection right before you enter the one-way into the Blue Heron. I'm really struggle with that one. I feel that it's also one of those roads that will probably end up, but I mean, willing to test it out on that major access road. It is, in my opinion, not a infrastructure opinion, one of the most, if not busiest road I have in that area.
Okay, well, let's first do the Blue Jay thing and make sure everybody's happy to add it.
Yep,
And
sorry.
then we'll come back to that one. So go ahead, Councillor Hall.
I'm going to say I have a concern just adding an intersection like that because we don't actually have a lot of data on traffic counts there. There's a number of other gravel roads that meet pavement that I think would and could also be dusty. Paxson Road,
It's done.
like there's a bunch of other places. So I would be nervous about the precedent of just adding calcium to intersections near highways just because they're a little bit dusty. Like that's the point in time where you should be slowing down anyway. And I just don't think we have the data to do it, and I don't like the precedent of just popping it on because also it has the potential to add a whole bunch of other comparable ones that will blow our budget
Yeah.
even further up compared to where it is now. So I'm not opposed to it with the right data, just I don't think we have the data to do it now.
So future consideration? Okay,
Let's do that way. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hall. That was a good point.
your future consideration for the Blue Heron one too?
Well, I mean, it's gonna take us 2 years to have
Yeah.
proper data, so I mean,
Let's test it out.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, as we mentioned, on the second year, if we felt that it was as required, we could look at it at that time on the second year during the program, not in August. Correct? Okay. Go ahead, Deputy Minch. You're good? Okay, so folks, I think we're good to go with the amended Schedule A with the understanding, again, groups 1, 2, and 4 would be every second year, group 3 annually. Okay? If we're ready for that, who would like that motion? Deputy Reed Mins would like to move that motion. Tammy, are you good with it? Okay. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor?
I
Any opposed? Awesome. Thank you. We are at noon, folks. We didn't plan for lunch. And there's not a whole lot, I don't think, that we need left to go through, so I'm not sure. If you guys just want to work through, I don't know how administration is doing for their lunchtime. If you want to work through this, I think we can get it hammered through. Really, I think we're basically down to a few wording concerns and, all lagoons, we did that one, set the budget, no more applications, admin from advice for cost effectiveness, we did that. The only thing I think we're at a rate is the rate. We had discussed $300 this year. Which is generally, go ahead, please. Oh, there we go. Counselor Callow, thank you.
Hi, sorry, I just have to keep shutting my camera off or you guys are freezing up on me. Yeah, I still like the $300 idea. I was able to talk to, some ratepayers. They in my area anyway are fine with that. Like they said they'd even be fine with 4 if it's something they decided that they need. They thought that was reasonable anyway. And again, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'm all for the 300. So if that motion needs to be made, I would be happy to make it.
Thank you. Awesome. I know we're going to lose Counselor Chamzik, but I think she still said she was okay with the 300. I think so. Counselor DeHollick?
I'm okay.
Oh, you need your microphone, please.
I'm okay with the 300 or more.
Counselor DeHollick
Yes,
is okay with the
I'm
$300
okay with the
this year,
300.
and I wasn't sure where. Counselor Chamzik, yeah, this will pretty much be our last motion, I think, for today.
Okay,
300.
I'm good with 300.
Okay. Deputy Mins, thinking. Counselor Stasiak,
I'm good with 300.
Counselor Calhoun is good with it. Counselor Hall.
I'd actually like to have a conversation and not rush something as important as the cost and how it affects our budget. So we're at, what did we hear, nearly $750,000 now to do this. I think, sorry, 794,000 was, I think, based on the information from Director Morton this morning. I don't know where it's coming from, guys, and I would like to hear from admin on what would we have to charge to get this back down to a subsidy that looked more like 250, 300 grand. What would it take? Because the residents that have talked to me have said things like, we agree that dust control is needed, but it should be user paid, which it is sort of now. And one person said, there's no way we can keep giving everything away for nothing. And they said, like, I'd be happy with $400 or $500. And I think in the past we had looked at, some of the costs in the wider region. My memory is that we're significantly below what most other people are paying. I would like to understand how this impacts our budget before we pick a number, because otherwise we're just pegging a number on the board. And so I'd like to hear from admin, what's it take to get us down to a $300,000 negative instead of a $700,000 What did I
Well-
say? We were $790,000 negative.
Well, again, when you,
Because let's round that up to $800,000. That's basically 2% of our budget
okay, so
on dust
that's,
control.
but that's not including the revenue that we've already anticipated for the applications. I'm going to,
No, that is including the revenue.
that's not how I'm reading it, but I'm going to give it to Councillor DeHollick and then over to Director Morton.
Well, I think we're gonna save some money doing it every second year. There's areas that we're gonna save some money. So I don't think that's a true cost. The
So maybe we should get a
700,000.
true cost before we decide.
Councillor, I'm just gonna you're just an honorary councillor, Director Morton.
Not sure how to take that. So, I mean, I would have to go run the numbers of what the every 2 years on certain of these roads would look like. But what we budgeted for this year was 694,000. So, and we'd already had 49,000, I believe, that I said we had to increase. And now I don't know, this should bring it down a little bit, but it may not have a huge impact.
But this morning's sheet had 99,000 on it, basically, with
Sorry,
the blue lines.
I don't,
Oh, but that included the
Yeah.
3 projects that were standalone. So we're not doing, we haven't even talked about those. So yeah, we're pushing 750,000. Like if you wanted to get back to 350 or some, you would need to substantially increase your rate, and you would need to get closer to a 50% of total cost. So you're looking at,
yeah.
know,
500
$600 bucks.
Yeah. 575. Councillor Stasiak?
Just for clarification, I sort of understand the every second year part, but is that staggered? Or does it spike our budget every second year and then drop every second year?
In an ideal world, it would be staggered, but unfortunately, some will get done this year, some will get done next year. So some of it'll be staggered, but more than likely 75-80% of it'll be in 1 year.
So then would it be fair to assume then that next year it will not be 700,000, it might be 500,000?
Depends on costs and number of applicants, right? Our budget associated with dust suppression it's always a shot in the dark because you have no idea how many people are going to apply. At $200, it was pretty
Attractive, yeah.
desirable. At 500, not so desirable.
And
So
And I think doing that type of a jump, it would not be, if we went from 200 to 500, not only your ears would be ringing, but so would ours. As we talked about in the last meeting, small increments to get us to where, a little bit more of less of a spend on our budget is great. But I hesitate. I'm opposed to doing a big massive jump from the 200. 300, I'm good with this year. See where we're at. I don't know where everybody else is. 350, 400, I don't know. But a huge jump I know is not going to be well received. Go ahead, please.
And I guess, yeah, I pretty well feel the same way. We were up at 400, we dropped it down to 200. Now we're gonna jump back up to 300. Jump to 300 this year and we revisit it and if we have to go up to 400 next year, we have to go up to 400 next year. It's a catch-22, but to jump from 200 to, let's say, to get it to where we're down that much, to jump it to 600 would be suicide. So, yeah, 300 I'm good with.
Okay, Counselor Stasiak?
Sorry, I'm good with 300, and I think Councillor Callahan offered the motion, but if not, I would be willing to make a motion that we accept 300 for this year and revisit it next year.
Yeah, annually. Okay, Counselor Pollock?
Yeah. Yes, I'm okay with the 300.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Chizen?
I'm okay with the 300.
Thank you. And Counselor Callahan, I think you're still on board with the 300 since it's your motion?
Yes, with room to go up, like others have pointed out in the future.
Yep, annually. We'll revisit this annually for sure. So if we're ready for that, folks, Counselor Callahan would like to move that we charge a $300 rate for dust suppression for the cost sharing program. Does that make sense? Is that
I
okay?
wonder if we would consider tabling that until we hear from admin what it looks like in terms of the impact on our budget and an estimate on number of users. Because I'm not okay with tax increases to pay for this program.
Okay, being that you would like to put a tabling motion out there, there is no discussion
Well, no,
and
I haven't made a tabling motion. I'm wondering if would
Oh,
there
you
be
want to s-
appetite for that? Because
I think that we're getting pretty late in our month of February. The next meeting is February 26th. We have to advertise by February 28th. It doesn't really give administration a decent amount of time to do that advertising unless we make that change as well. I think that Director Morton made it, his case here earlier about how it's, difficult at this point until we know how many applicants we have. I think the majority of council is good to go with the 300. I think if we just put that motion out there, unless anybody else wants to table. And I'm getting shaking of no's. So let's put that motion on the floor. We're ready to go. The funding increase to $300 or the subsidization amount for the 2026 dust suppression year. Okay, if we're ready for the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
And do we have any opposed?
nay.
Thank you. We have 6 and 1, as Councillor Chamzik had to leave us. The only other items, folks, and I'll just run through that I had gone through was the infrastructure's discretion to deny an application based on need, but I think we kind of had that all sorted out through changing from the second year.
Well, I had wrote this one down for the policy change, was Athabasca County reserves the right to refuse placement of dust suppression product if not necessary or required. And that, the reason I was just saying that is because if somebody comes in and they literally like we're out in the middle of nowhere and like I just think we need to be able to say no to people if they disagree with what we're saying or what infrastructure says, or it can come back to council and council can decide, right? I don't know. It's just to sit there and say, because you put your application in, you're gonna get dust control, doesn't, or dust suppression doesn't. I don't know. It's,
The only thing that I am concerned about is if it was to come back to council, where's our expertise in saying yes or no? We would have to actually go out and look at it. I mean, we have to, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to just, if somebody came in as a delegate without absolutely seeing what was going on, administration has said no, they're saying yes. How would we make that determination?
I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know.
So I think it creates a bigger problem. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, just, Madam Chair, which, is it 3.4 of the draft policy on page 6? Is that the one that we're talking about?
Sorry, I hadn't gone to the policy. 3.4. 3.4, the county reserves the right to maintain the treated section of roadway, including application of suppression treatments or restoration to original gravel condition as deemed appropriate by the CAO or designate. Does that cover it for you?
It covers half of it in my mind, but I'm not gonna die in this mountain.
Go ahead.
Just a question, like, so if we denied it and said, we know what, we're not gonna cost share that, they would still be, we wouldn't probably say no if they wanted to pay full cost, right?
Okay.
But I think we can capture something.
Okay.
Counselor Stasia?
That sort of half answered the question I wanted to ask, but just for clarification, in the 2-year program, are applicants still eligible to get dust suppression every year if they're willing to pay the full amount?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know, so that because I'm gonna have ratepayers asking me that, sure. Thank you.
No.
So are we, just hang on here, in a multi-lot subdivision example, it would be the cost sharing program on the 2nd year.
Correct.
Yeah,
I just,
so not the full cost sharing.
correct.
Okay.
Like for those, like if they fall into a category of every 2nd year and every year they wanted it, every 2nd year they would have to pay full cost on their own or not.
Cost sharing.
Cost share.
Well.
Every 2nd year would be cost share, but the in-between years would be
No.
full cost? No?
Every 2nd year is they don't pay nothing.
Multi-lot.
Oh, yeah, I understand now.
Got it.
Yeah, got it.
Understood. Okay. All right, so I take it 3.4.
Yeah, that'll cover it.
You're good? Okay. There was a word change, request applicant owner rather than resident owner. We talked about that, and I think Director Morton, you commented on that.
Yeah, it was associated with rental for property versus ownership,
Right.
right? Yeah, I historically, but you do have the ability to classify dust control as improvement to property, so you could collect on taxes if payment bounced or
Right.
was unsuccessful.
So resident.
So
I think the problem with resident though comes to where we used to have a residential and a commercial rate and we don't have a separate rate now. So if you had, a non-residential property that says, must be signed by a resident, well, nobody lives on non-residential property. Which is why, the applicant to me covers it more because obviously we have to be able to tack it back to taxes. If the owner or whoever doesn't pay, the owner should have to pay through their taxes, but it's just you may have someone like who doesn't live on the property applying for dust control. There's a commercial property at the edge of Highway 2 and South Athabasca Road. Maybe they want it, but nobody lives there. And if it has to be signed by the resident and the owner, that means both, and you only have one of them.
Do you have applicant, resident, owner?
trying to
don't know.
figure out where was it identified?
Oh, in the policy itself,
3.2.
3.2, did you say?
Okay.
Where am I missing a page here?
And actually 3.1, it uses the word resident too.
There it is. I guess the concern again is liability aspect, so is that something that administration would like to dive into a little deeper? Because I believe it's the same with snow plowing. It's the owner that has to be the one that determines that because of the hold harmless, correct? Yeah, so I think that might be part and parcel of why that's resident and owner of a dwelling. And like you say, because of the liability of not being able to go back.
So what was the suggestion that it just go to applicant?
Applicant and owner. Is it applicant and owner? Counselor Hall?
Well, I think the owner, clearly admin told us having the owner sign it is a requirement so that there's the ability to go back to taxes. The problem, I think the difficulty that comes up or where you're going to run into a trouble is where you have a property where perhaps it's the owner and the occupant may be different, but or they may be the same, but we can't assume the occupant is a resident.
True.
And
Counselor Stacey?
think about Sunseeker Marine on the way to town, right? If those guys want dust control, does this policy allow it when the resident must sign? Well,
Yeah.
Counselor Stacey?
Yeah, I'm just curious if this is even relevant. The paragraph 2, right on the top of the page of page 6, applicants are to be made, applications are to be made to the county. Cost of dust suppression application must be paid by the resident at the time of agreement. So you're getting your money well before you're putting the product on. So you know right then if it's going to be NSF or it's going to be not paid. So I don't know if it's even relevant that we're worried about other than the hold harmless clause.
Well, we wouldn't even, it's not a hold harmless because it's on county road.
Okay, so I don't see it as a problem because you're getting your money paid for in full. If it doesn't, if the check doesn't clear, he's not getting dust done.
Do you want to just add applicant, resident, owner? So applicant, resident and owner? Or applicant or
Or-
resident and owner? And
I think
satisfy
the
it?
simplest is to swap out the word resident with applicant, because then the applicant might be the occupant and renter, the applicant might be the owner. But applicant kind of covers both those situations where someone is doing it for their own house or someone is doing it for their commercial property or both.
Their parents.
There you go. So, and it being that you need 2 signatures, if it is not the same person as the owner, correct? You need both signatures. As it's mentioned, an agreement must be signed by the resident and owner of a dwelling. So if the resident or the applicant is not the owner, you would need to get both signatures.
Yeah, we we kind of ran into a problem with that last year.
Okay,
Because a daughter was trying to do it for her mother, and her mother was unable to sign.
okay.
So we have to use some discretion, but
They would
Uh,
normally have power of attorney or.
yeah,
trust or
it
something
hadn't
like that.
fit, it
Hadn't done
hadn't
it yet.
finished yet,
Got it.
but I still approved it. so.
Okay, understood. Nope, that's right. Compassion goes a long way too.
Okay, we'll change out the resident with applicant and
Okay.
go from there.
Okay. And then what's the last, I'm trying to get through it, folks, because I know everybody's tummies are growling. We did the Caslin set a budget, the set a budget, and once it's used up, that's it. No more applications, I think is kind of tricky. So I would have to say no to that. Because yeah, the guy, like I say, who comes in 2 minutes after, but where's everybody else? No. Counselor Stasiak, no. Counselor DeHolick. For this one is to set a budget and once it's used up, that's it, no more applications. Are you a yes or a no? You could go either way. Counselor Chizen,
No,
okay, Counselor Callahan
no.
and Counselor Hall.
I'm opposed to increasing taxes to pay for this.
Okay. Well, I think so far by the poll, we're good to go with not worrying about setting a budget and once it's used up. Cost effectiveness, we've discussed of that, would like to get the actual cost per application, which we kind of established at $11.50. The cost of add-ons we dealt with and adopting the amendments in red to the policy. Is there going to be any major changes to the red to the policy? Do you think? Just the applicant as discussed, or do you want to bring it back?
We don't want to bring it back, Madam Chair.
Okay, right. All right.
Is
so
there going
there's-
to be a discussion about what a dwelling is, or have we skipped that, or did I doze off?
Sorry, which one?
The definition of a dwelling.
Oh, the
Is it a
definition of a
camper?
dwelling.
Is it a tent on wheels? Does a tent trailer count because they have bathrooms?
Well, it's what it currently says is means a building or a portion of a building containing one or more habitable rooms that constitute a self-contained living accommodation unit having sleeping, cooking, and toilet facilities and intended as a permanent or seasonal residence. So a tent doesn't cover it. That's not gonna work. We did mention RVs as a yes, being that they could be a seasonal residence. So we kind of touched on it, but is there anything you'd like to add there, Counselor Hall?
I know you mentioned RVs, but I hadn't heard actually from council. Is that, are we all okay that RVs count in this, or is it only things that are assessed under the property taxes? And if we're good with RVs, we're good with RVs. It's just, this is a healthy substitute, subsidy on property for, like what essentially we're collecting tax on a vacant parcel and with an RV, because there's no assessment to the RV typically. And we have this whopping subsidy for that parcel. I'm not sure that that makes sense. Like, but again, I want to float it so that council has made an informed decision because of the extraordinary runaway cost of this program.
Well, we could always add for the RV aspect if it's affixed to something. So if it's stationary and connected to something, because we're looking at how many multi-lot subdivisions that have RVs in them. Like we talked about lake lots, for example, that have RVs in them. Councillor Calhoun?
Yeah, I do think that there needs to be more rules, regulations, parameters around that. Otherwise, some people will take advantage of something we're possibly partially gifting already, and that's not fair to those that aren't.
Okay, so
I don't
have
think
it-
it's fair to admin either, right? They'll be the ones getting taken advantage of.
Got it. Okay, so what I have listed here, I wrote down when an RV might be treated like a building is when it's stationary and connected. If it's placed on blocks or a foundation, hooked up to sewer, water, and power, and intended to stay put. So if it's connected to a deck and it's got an overhang and it's got all of these things that people use on their regular seasonal residences, we'll call it, I think that that would be fair. There's also, we could also look at local bylaws, and our municipalities have bylaws that reclassify stationary RVs as buildings. I don't know if we want to go that deep into it because that's a whole another ball of wax. But I think for this aspect, if our
Would it be simplest just to add language, like something to the effect of, at the end of that dwelling sentence after seasonal residence, and is assessed for the purpose of taxation?
I think that you're going to find that, oh, hang on, we do have assessments for some RVs when we look at them, do we not? I've seen that
Then they're
before.
eligible.
Sorry,
And then they'd be eligible, that would be fine.
Counselor or CAO?
I would have to get clarification. My understanding today is no.
Okay, and I seem to remember looking up a couple of different assessments that I noticed RVs were like $97 and $102. I have seen a couple of them just in my area. When I was asked to look them up, I have seen it because they're not moving. They're staying there. They're part of that, almost like a campground, a seasonal campground. They're part of that. So I don't know if it would be fair to say that all of them are assessed. I would hazard to say no. I would be more comfortable with something that's stationary and connected that is intended to stay put. But that would be me. Where's everybody at? Because this is the last item.
The point is that you essentially have in many places a vacant lot, and the taxation on that's, as if a vacant lot. So it might be $1,000 or $2,000. I'd have to look at some, but then you go and give them let's say an $800 subsidy on dust control. That's pretty substantial for what is ultimately a vacant lot, where if there's an investment and accessible, taxable, real property on that lot, then, the taxes paid will be somewhat higher, and it's more reasonable to give away that, the big subsidy. So it's a filter, and whether you put your RV on blocks and put the tires back on it in the fall or not, I think to me, that actually creates an inequity. It's if there's an RV there and you don't pay taxes on it, then you don't get dust control.
Okay, where's everybody at? Counselor Stacey.
Thank you. In my experience, the definition of stationary, based on the code we've worked with modulars, it had to be anchored to some sort of foundation.
Okay. And I didn't write down, I'm sorry, Counselor Hall, and is seasonal residence and is assessed
For the purpose of taxation.
for the purpose of taxation. Okay. Thank you.
And then that obviously means there's been a development permit. If things are working the way they should, and a building permit and you know, if it's a modular, well, they get screwed to the ground or anchored to the ground on wooden blocks or steel piles, and like those all get taxed.
And the ones that are in the multi-lots will be covered anyway. Right?
Well, no, if you have a multi-lot that has 20 lots and 15 of them have RVs on them, then they're not developed. And to me, those would not be 75% developed because there's not 75 built improvements on them.
So if they wanted dust control, then they would be paying full cost.
That's what I understood the intent was. When a multi-lot was 75% developed, which to me means has built improvements, not 75 campers parked on them.
Yes, correct. I was just saying that if they don't meet the 75% inhabited, that if they wanted it and they were living in an RV for the season, they would have to pay full cost, not the subsidized program cost.
Seems reasonable.
I'm sorry, I missed what he said.
Seems reasonable.
Seems reasonable. Okay, so where's everybody at with that? I don't know, you didn't do too many last year, correct? There was a few.
There's a few.
Yeah, there was a few.
Any that, had a RV or a blue sign, we did it, so.
Okay.
Captured there.
Okay. So is this a thought process, folks? Where are we at? Counselor Stasiak?
I would have to agree with Councillor Hall on this one, that if it's accessible for taxation purposes, they would be eligible. We're still not denying them dust suppression. They'd have to pay full price if they're not accessible. My thoughts.
Okay. Deputy Reed, are you ready? Nope. Counselor DeHollick? Counselor Hall? Okay. Counselor Calhoun?
Sorry, I froze up there for a second. Can you repeat?
No worries. The dwelling definition would have an addition after seasonal residence to say, and is assessed for the purpose of taxation. Oh, we lost her. Darn. Oh, she's coming back. There she is. There you go. Did you catch that? Sorry, you're on mute.
Yes, no, I agree with that wording.
Okay. Counselor Chisholm?
I agree with it too.
Okay, perfect. Do we need to make a motion for that change? Because we can just, we're gonna look at this whole policy and say, okay, with that, as that's one amendment. I think we're good with everything else because we've already talked about the different schedule changes. If we can pass this motion to say that council would like to accept policy 3405 as amended and discussed, does that cover it?
If
Who would like to take it?
unless Councillor Hall would like to make that motion, I would certainly be glad to make that motion.
Okay,
Go for it.
did he say go for it?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, Counselor Stasiak would like to move that council. What are we saying? This council accept policy 3405 as amended and discussed. Are we ready for that vote? All those in favor?
I
I
Aye.
And I don't see any
Actually,
opposed.
I would make that an A. I'm still not happy with the fee.
We'll bring it back next year and we'll fix it again. You're opposed? Okay. So
To
we
the
have
tax increase, yep.
a 6 and 1. Oh, is Counselor Hall opposed as
Yeah.
well? I thought he said-
Opposed, very
Oh,
much
6
opposed.
Very much opposed, 6 and 2, or 5 and 2. You're good? Do you have anything further?
What did we just vote on?
The policy,
The policy?
the policy
Oh,
as
for God's
amended,
sakes, I thought we were as amended. Oh, okay, no.
As
I-
amended?
I was for it.
you're for it. So we're gonna go 6, 6 and 1.
Yeah. I'm for the policy.
You're for the policy as discussed and amended.
Yeah.
Yes. So 6 and 1. Do you have the motions okay? Are we absolutely done here, folks? 12:35, meeting adjourned.